Live now. Yeah, I think we're going live. So, welcome everyone. This is on Just Restart. I'm joined with my good friend Brandon from What About Nintendo, and here we're here to discuss a whole bunch of Nintendo stuff as usual, as we do every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Mondays, usually. Anyways, how you doing, Brandon? How's your week been?
I'm doing good. My week's been pretty nice. The football team I follow actually won a game yesterday, so that was pretty dope. But
Wait,
I mean,
the football team you follow?
follow.
Oh, you follow. I heard follow. I was like, what? Okay.
Yes, I follow for this football team.
Like NFL?
Yeah, NFL, the Texans.
Okay.
Houston Texans.
All right.
Knows. But yeah, so I was pretty hype yesterday. Other than that, been playing Dragalia Lost and
I started playing it.
Yeah, Batman Arkham Knight as well, which is a game I saw Digital Foundry went back over, and I was like, oh yeah, I have this game. I played like 2% of it, so I went back and I played that for a couple hours, which was really fun. So, and then just trying to catch up with Octopath so I can get to Xenoblade.
Okay. Yeah, I've had a similar week, kind of. Well, I haven't been paying. I don't pay attention to football, but I do pay attention to basketball. And for the NBA, there are a lot of rumors circulating. Not even rumors; they're reports. Like these are facts. Jimmy Butler, an NBA star, might be traded to the Miami Heat. Maybe. There's a couple other teams that are in the running for him, and the Timberwolves are asking for too much. So we'll see. But if the Heat get Jimmy Butler, they'll be back in the running. They could be a potential like top 4 team in the East. So I'm pretty excited about that. And the NBA season is starting. Well, the preseason is starting now, and the actual season starts at the end of October. Which brings me to this point. October's starting, and it's the beginning of all the holiday rush, right? The seasonal things in autumn and orange and pumpkins and spookiness, and it's starting, and it's kind of for a lot of people like the best time of the year. It's my birthday month, so it is the best month of the year for that reason. So you know, celebrate. I'm just kidding, but yeah, it's interesting. And I also started playing Dragalia Lost today, and it's really fun. I really like that. We'll get into it because that's our first topic. But I also have been playing Torn of the Golden Country. You should play that as soon as you finish.
I really want
Octopath. It's really good as well.
I might take a break with Octopath because I feel like I'm not even close to being the ridiculous amount of content in that game.
Yeah, what's interesting about Torn of the Golden Country is that I read a developer interview and they were talking about how like Torn of the Golden Country kind of fits story-wise in between chapters 7 and 8 for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So once they beat Torn of the Golden Country, eventually I'm going to come back and do the New Game Plus for Xenoblade 2. And then and once I finish chapter 7, I'm going to jump in, play Torn of the Golden Country one more time, then go and play the end of Xenoblade 2. But maybe I'll stream all of it. It'll be one giant, like, RPG experience, and that'll be the full course for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So, yeah, I kind of have my hands tied between Xenoblade 2 and I guess now Dragalia Lost, which is kind of interesting for a smartphone RPG.
Right.
And I guess we could kind of jump into that in a moment. I'll just kind of say hello to everyone else that's here. Also, I'll let you guys know what the topics are, even though it's on screen. Just we're gonna talk about Dragalia Lost. Then we're gonna talk about Xenoblade and how we may be seeing a Xenoblade 3 in the future. Then we're gonna talk about Luigi's Mansion 3, just because hey, it's the first month of October, and I feel like we could talk a little bit more about that game because it's kind of a big deal. Then we're talking about Metroid Prime 4 because there's been some information that's come out, or rather a photo that's suggesting that we might see Metroid Prime 4 at the Game Awards, which will then lead us into the Game Awards, and then because it's me, that will then lead us into Smash Brothers, and then we will be talking about the Nintendo's outlook in 2019. I think it's going to be a really, really big year, so we have a lot to talk about, even though this has been kind of a slow news week. So, yeah. Is there anything in particular you want to bring up before we get started, Brandon?
No, I think we should just jump right into it.
Okay, let me say hi to people in the chat, though. Hey, Double Ara, Savage64, Final Fantasy VII Remake is never releasing, but he's always here. Yeah, Super Chris. Yeah, my favorite basketball team is the Miami Heat. I was born and raised in Miami, so, and this is Dwayne Wade's last year, so he's gonna get kind of like that farewell tour. Hey, Robeer. So, yeah, let's get started. All right, yeah, so Dragalia Lost, how are you feeling on it?
I think it's pretty good. There are some things that I like about it, and there are some things that kind of come with the mobile territory that I don't like about it. which is just, I mean, it's kind of things you should expect for mobile, but some of it's not. I made some notes so I didn't forget. I guess I'll just go over what I like first. I mean, the gameplay is pretty solid, to be honest. Like, I feel like they have enough mechanics there to where it doesn't feel like you're just mashing buttons constantly. And like adding the swipe to dodge mechanic, you have like a special move you can activate once in a while. You can actually unlock different moves later through like a kind of skill tree thing. So I feel like the gameplay is pretty good. The music is phenomenal. I have to say, the music is really, really good. Especially that like opening menu theme.
Yes, it really. Oh my god,
so good! I literally just sat there and just listened to it for a while.
I guess it's interesting because like there's different songs, not just one song. Like the budget for this game is actually, it seems pretty high. I'm curious if it's gonna end up being like a very compelling story, because the way the story is told, there's like some parts that are kind of good, some parts that are just not bad but like simplistic. So you know, I'm just. It's surprising me, and I think the one thing that really stands out to me is the music. But even like the UI for the game, like there's a lot there. So it's kind of, to me, it's a little.
It looks cluttered to me, to be honest. Like it's overwhelming at all times.
Yes,
Which is strange because I played so many deep RPGs like Xenoblade and stuff, and you would expect me to be like, oh, you know, I'm good. I can navigate through this, and you just look and you're just like, oh my gosh, there's so much.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like they slowly sort of teach you one thing about the game at a time by every mission. So, and for the record, I don't think I'm that far into it. I'm still on the chapter 1, right? I don't know how long chapter 1 is. But
I've been playing chapter 1 for like 30-45 minutes, and it's still going. So, the chapters are longer than I thought they would be.
Yeah, for sure. Just going back to the UI part, though, the way the UI is, like, it does feel a little overwhelming, and I think part of the reason is because you both and we both play RPGs. I think it has more to do with the fact that it's on the phone, right? Because you kind of expect kind of like a simplistic experience, but they really are fitting in a lot of like RPG mechanics into it, and it's done simplistically because like the controls, you move with the touchscreen, you select with the touchscreen. You attack with a touchscreen. Like, you do everything with a touchscreen, right? But it's all with, you could play the whole game with one hand, technically. And it actually works pretty well. It's nothing like this too, like, you know, like, it's not like it requires, like, super precise movements. And sometimes I kind of want to, because it is in real time, right? So, like, sometimes, like, I know an attack is coming at me and I want to dodge, and you can do that. But sometimes when you're in the middle of an attack, you can't dodge, so you kind of have to wait for an attack to finish before you can dodge.
It really, like, it's not a game where you want to mash too much, because if you start mashing, you'll stop being able to dodge. It does reward you for not just blindly smacking your screen, which I like.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely deeper than what you would expect for a smartphone game. So I'm interested in it. The music's good. It's a beautiful game. I love the style. And I'm actually a little interested in the story. It's nothing super complex at this point, but some interesting. Actually, well, I mean, the first couple cutscenes do sort of bring in an interesting sort of twist. So, you know, for those who haven't started yet, I'm not going to spoil you guys, but you know what I'm talking about, Brandon, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The masked person, let's just say that. Right, like that was like, even though I kind of saw it coming, right? I was like, but I was theorizing. The moment I saw it, I noticed during the cutscene that it was happening. I was like, oh, I bet somewhere down the line we're gonna find out that this person is actually right. And then it happened within that cutscene. So I was like, oh, okay. So this twist was immediate. Okay, so now I really don't know how it's gonna play out, which is cool. So I'm curious how the story's gonna sort of play out, and I wonder. I guess I don't really want to, now that I'm playing the game, I'm starting to see how they can totally monetize the game, right? Because now I want more Warmite, right? So I can get more heroes and stuff, but so I can see how people are going to feel compelled to like get those little microtransactions in there. And apparently the game's already made over $3 million or something like that.
Yeah, it was top 10 on iOS like right after it came out.
Yeah.
So
it's doing really well. What's interesting is that I've seen a lot of people report on it, and they say Dragalia Lost revenue is nearing the top, right? So it's interesting because the second part of Dragalia Lost name is Lost, and then they follow it up with Revenue. So people are reading Lost Revenue, so people are thinking that because it's a new IP that it's not doing well, but actually it's doing really well, and it's just very poor, I guess.
You gotta put a comma there or something.
Or semantics or something. Yeah, they're not doing too well with that. They need a comma, exactly. But the game's doing really well, and I'm excited about that because it is technically a new IP, although it is on smartphone. But as far as smartphone games go, I'm probably gonna play this more than all the other smartphone games that have come out.
I'll definitely beat it. Whether I'll play it after I beat it, it's another question.
Yeah.
Also, I was excited before release about the 4-player online, but playing the game, the missions aren't very long at all, which is kind of my problem with the game. Is that I feel like the missions don't flow well together. They're very separated, they're like disjointed, which makes sense because it's a mobile game. So obviously, a lot of people
just kind of go in and out, right?
Yeah, but they all it comes at the expense of having a smooth experience when you just want to sit down and play for a while.
Yeah, that is the thing, because I kind of just want to just go through the story, and it keeps on booting me to the menu to oh, now you gotta learn about this, right? And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I want to just play. I want to just see what's gonna happen, right? So it's not like a normal RPG where you're in the experience and you're learning. It's always sending you to the menu where they have the shop and the upgrades and stuff. It's not, all the missions are separate, it's all segmented, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Within a normal RPG, all of those systems are within the actual part where you play. Right? In Dragalia Lost, like you said, it's mission based, so that RPG aspect where you actually mess with them, where you actually play the game, it's there, and then everything else where you do all the upgrades, the tinkering of your team, and getting more items and heroes and stuff, that's all done outside of the missions. So yeah, it is a little annoying, but I feel like once I'm kind of waiting on to see once I finally get all of the introduction tutorial stuff out of the way, how much smoother it'll become. Because right now it's kind of this thing. Oh, now I have to learn about this thing. Now I have to learn about this thing, which is a little annoying. But I think once I get past that part, I think it will feel a lot smoother. But then again, it is still mission based. It is still segmented. So I wonder if they'll boot you out, or maybe there'll be some sort of option to just roll back, continue. Actually, they could even update that or something. Just offer a button at some point on the screen to go back into the menu.
Yeah. Another thing, I feel like it's very there's a lot of pay to win aspects other than just the gacha. You can level up just by using the currency, which I feel like they kind of shove in your face a lot. They're like, oh, look at this, you can pay to get leveled up, and look at this, you can pay to level this up. And it's just what? I just want to play the game and level up normally. I feel like a lot of Nintendo games that they have microtransactions, they don't really tell you about it. It's usually hidden in the menus, and you can find it pretty easily, but it doesn't tell you. It's not prompting you constantly, oh, you should pay to upgrade this, or use your currency to upgrade this. It's okay.
That's interesting, because for me, the shop menu, I didn't even find the shop menu until I decided to explore, right? I feel like the shop menu is kind of a smaller icon. It's not even in your face.
Not the pay to buy the currency is not in your face, but the currency you use to upgrade things is very pay to win. So you can just upgrade your levels just by using the currency, which obviously you can buy more. So once you run out, it's probably you gotta go to the store. So it's just it's too much pay to win stuff.
Right. From what I've played so far, I saw these items, these bronze whatever, and I could use that to level up. But are you saying that those for example those bronze items that you can use to level yourself up, you can buy those?
I know you can buy a lot of diamond diamondium. What do they call it? The diamond stuff.
It's
you can pretty much buy anything with that.
You earn wormidium. I forgot the name of it.
Wormdite or something. That's the free currency.
Right. That's the one you earn in game. But then there's one that diamantium or something. That's the one that you buy. But they both do the same thing, where they're just a currency to get stuff. Yeah, you know, and I was thinking that, hey, this is going to be kind of hard to get Wormendium or whatever, but actually you can get, I got a lot for starting the game at least. The thing is you have to go to the collector, like the item box or something, where you can collect it. It doesn't give it to you automatically. You have to actually go to a menu and then accept all of it, which I think is kind of annoying, but I've seen other smartphone games do that, so
yeah,
I feel like it's
pretty
normal
for
smartphone
accept
games.
all button.
Yeah.
So I was just going and clicking individuals, like, oh my god, I'm like 5 Wormendium, 5 more Wormendium, whatever. What the hell is it actually called? I could look right now, but I won't. Maybe I will, because this is annoying me. Hold on, what is it actually called here? It's called Wormadite, I think.
I want to look too, but I'll see.
Yeah, Wormite. It's called Wormite.
Wormite. Okay.
So Wormite. So you're going through, and I was literally just accepting like 5 Wormite, 5 Wormite, 5 more Wormite, 5 Wormite, and every match, if you get a high enough score, like if you get all the different objectives, like don't let your teammates die and whatnot, you get like 5 sets of 5. So I was going through 5 sets of 5, and it's 3 button presses per each. And then I realized I'm an idiot, and there's an accept all, so you just have to click it through. You just have to click that.
Yeah, there's an accept all. Like, oh. But I mean, it just goes to the point that there's so many little buttons to press and interact with, so there's a lot there. But, you know, I think that kind of, it's not necessarily a critique, because it kind of goes to show you that this is kind of an experience, right? There is a lot there, but at the same time, you know, it's a bit more than you might expect from a typical smartphone game. So if you're just looking for like a really simple thing, this has some meat to it from what it seems so far. So it's really cool. I'm really digging the music. I love the art style. The mechanics seem to be pretty solid. I'm kind of curious how it'll all play out once I understand everything and all the features. But, you know, I'm going to keep playing Dragalia Lost. So, I mean, it's free. So
And there's some stuff for people who aren't want to go super deep. Like there's like the auto customize and stuff. So if you're playing, you're like, I don't know what the hell all this stuff's about. I just want it to work. I just want to play the game. You can just hit the auto customize and just the optimize buttons and stuff. It's nice for the people who just everything's going over their head and they're just like, I don't know what this does.
I have a feeling that I may not change too many of my heroes. Like the ones that you get at first, those just might be my party. I'm just gonna play through to the main story and then never come pick it up again.
Yeah, I don't see, like, there's a gotcha mechanic, but I don't see the reason to have so many different fighters. Like, it's not like Fire Emblem where people know these characters. They're just random characters.
We'll see. I guess I'll have to play more to really find out. Let's see what you guys in the chat are saying, unless there's anything else you want to add, Brandon, before we move on.
I mean, I think I think that there is potential for it to go deeper. I think right now the story is it's okay, and like the gameplay it's pretty good. There's some neat exploration stuff. You can find chests and different things, and there's weapons inside and stuff. So there's exploration elements, but I feel like the game is setting itself up to be deeper than it is, because right now it's, as you said, it's in the kind of tutorial stage. So I think later on we might get like bigger, like more deep mechanics, like longer levels and more difficulty, because right now it's pretty easy.
I want longer levels because they're all really quick and simple.
Yeah, they're all like a minute
but
long.
The mechanics are also pretty simple too, right? Like, so they, like, the most depth the mechanics have at this point is just, you know, you dodge at the right moments, and you pick the moments to attack, and then that can, if the boss goes into overdrive mode or something, you can knock them down, and when you knock them down, that's where you can just really wail on them. So I'm curious if they're going to add depth to that. We'll see how it plays out. But I know there's like different passives, like, you know, there's the elements from your party, and then there's the items you can attach and the weapon.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I think they are already, like, by the time I get to it, because now enemies can have like shields, and there's a special move you have to use that's a different, like, you have to hold it and aim it, and it breaks the shields before you can attack again.
Interesting.
So they are adding stuff like that already. So I think it will get deeper in that way, because they're already showing signs of adding new moves and different things. And the bosses do behave very differently, so they feel, when you fight a boss, they do feel very different from each other, which is nice, because all their moves have different like patterns and different like because they typically show you like exactly where the move's going to go, and they'll be like in different shapes. Like some of them will be like really close, but they'll be like really wide, or some of them will be like really long. And there's a little bunch of different moves the characters have, make the bosses feel a lot different from each other.
Okay, well, I'm interested to see more about Dragalia Lost, so I'm gonna continue playing it. But yeah, let's see what everyone else is sort of talking about here. Hey, Sam Does Gaming. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Metroid soon, but I mean, I guess I do think Metroid Prime is releasing in 2019. And I think it's not gonna be October, because I think December's too late for it to take the prime time sort of date. You know, in the year. It could. I mean, Smash is taking it now, right? But I feel like October is going to be hitting more of that Mario Odyssey time slot, and then Pokemon 2019 is going to be the November game next year. Yeah. Hey, Zach is back. Wait, what am I reading? Oh, so Zach is back is saying a Wild West Earthbound with Indians and steampunk, Confederates versus Yankees. You know what? I could see an Earthbound game taking on kind of like a theme along those lines, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sam Does Gaming is talking about maybe like a Wild West idea, but for new Donkey Kong. A Wild West Donkey Kong Country.
That'd be something.
That would definitely be different.
I'd have to see it to know if I'd actually like that or not.
Do you remember the Mario Party game where you had the duel? And there was like
that Mario Party 2?
Yeah, but there was like the board that was like it was like the Old West or something. Like that's kind of I'm just imagining Donkey Kong with the little hat and the gun ready to do a duel. I don't know how that would play out, but it would definitely be unique. Sabbath, I think a lot of us would agree that there's going to be a Zelda mobile game sooner or later.
I think they said that there's going to be a Zelda mobile game.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's 100% confirmed. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, so we'll see it sooner or later. I just don't know what it'll be. How interesting would it be if that's how they handle 2D Zelda? They just move that over to mobile games.
I would not enjoy that.
Yeah.
I think 2D even 2D Zelda games have enough depth where they like mobile controls wouldn't.
Right. It just wouldn't be. But what if they did it kind of like the Triforce Heroes sort of thing? Like, what if that's where they put that?
Triforce Heroes on phones would be actually really great.
Yeah, and it could be multiplayer, maybe 3 or 4 people. You know, basically the Four Swords style kind of game, but on mobile. Right. You know, just different puzzles, and maybe you can buy more puzzles or something along those lines. Or I could see how they could transition that style of kind of game into mobile and make it work really well. Maybe that's what it is.
Really good.
Yeah, I think that. Now I'm kind of sold on this being what the next like Zelda mobile game is going to be. It's going to be like a Triforce Heroes, Four Swords kind of game with, you know, old online multiplayer and, you know, expanding maps and stuff. And that's how they'll monetize it.
Actually excites me because I was one of those people who actually really thought Triforce Heroes was good. I just never really had a chance to play it as much because a lot of my friends didn't have DSs and didn't have the game. So, like, if it was a free-to-play phone game, then I'd have a lot more chance to play that.
Yeah. No, I mean, if it's free, it's free. It's like, I'm going to play if it's free. It's just too easy. I actually didn't get Triforce Heroes. It wasn't worth it to me. But if it's free, it would be worth it to me. So, yeah. And maybe I'll at least put in some dollars at some point. What?
I said I would have gotten it if more of my friends were down at the time.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted the 3DS to be dead for a very long time, so I just boycotted it. That's
another problem.
Yeah. Let me see here. Well, I think we can move on to the next topic actually. And yeah, I would love it if Rare was still with Nintendo, but it's not gonna happen.
Wouldn't everyone?
Yeah. So let's move on. All right. So more Xenoblade. What do I mean by more Xenoblade? Well, basically, Xenoblade 2 has exceeded the expectations for Monolith Soft. And I think that even extends into the Tornado Golden Country. It's doing really well. And, you know, this is exciting news, and it could very well mean that they're going to continue to push the series, and we could be seeing a Xenoblade 3 somewhere down the line. So, Brandon, what are your thoughts on this?
I definitely think we're going to see another Xenoblade game, whether it would be called Xenoblade 3 or maybe X2 or, like, what it would be called exactly. That's kind of hard to say, but I definitely think we're going to keep seeing more Xenoblade games. I don't think they're going anywhere.
Yeah, No, I don't think they're going anywhere either, but I think Xenoblade X would be something else. Like I think it's already like the Xenoblade numbered series is kind of more story focused, right? Mm-hmm. And Xenoblade X is more about exploration. So I feel like it could branch off in that way, and we may get a Xenoblade X2, right? And then Xenoblade 3. I can see how that could happen. I would love it if they were to somehow continue the story for Rex and Pyra. Hey, maybe they can play into the idea of how there's two different... Is this a spoiler? You know what I'm talking about, though, right? How there's two different, like, realities.
Well, I don't... Is that a spoiler? I don't remember, man. I don't remember how early they tell you these things. So it's hard to figure out spoilers when you know the whole context.
Well, let's just say that there's maybe a way for Shulk and Rex to intermingle. What if they made Xenoblade 3 a story that sort of talks about how their worlds and how they're connected, and maybe we can play as both.
I was actually going to suggest that.
And if it's a follow-up to both stories.
Right.
That'd be cool. I love that.
I don't think the in the battle DLC mode, I don't think the meeting between Shulk and Rex is canon.
Oh, I think it doesn't really matter. I think it's one of those things where, like, it's just, they're just making it seem like it's because the way it plays out the scene in the challenge mode, it's clear that that it's happening, like, not, it's not at the, after they beat their respective stories. It's in the middle of their respective adventures, you know? So, it's, you know what I mean? Like, so it's, I think it's just kind of like one of those things like, oh, how did this happen? Oh, okay, well, it just, like a filler story, right? You know, like a filler story in an anime where it's like, oh, there's this side event that occurred, let's go do it. And then they come back to their main quest. Like, it doesn't really impact them in any way.
Yeah, but it's not like, it's not strictly canon, though. You know what I mean? Because you can, like, have him as a blade and just do the story. Which is definitely not canon.
Yeah. I don't remember what happens with Fiora at the end of Xenoblade. Is she able to live as a normal person?
Yeah, she's... More spoilers, but I mean, that game's ancient, so...
The game came out in 2010. It's almost 10 years old.
And if you haven't played it, you'll probably... That game's so freaking long, you'll probably forget what we're talking about by the time you get to this section. But yeah, I think she does... They figure it all out in the end, so... The last cutscene, she's back to normal.
Okay. Okay, then in that case, technically, I guess the story, the challenge mode, right, could take place after the event of Xenoblade 1, right?
Right. Which makes no sense for the story of, well, I shouldn't even, even saying that might be a spoiler, but it makes no sense in the context of the second game.
Whatever. I mean, I would like to see them at least address the connection between those two worlds in some way.
What I'm saying is like, I'm saying it's not like that meaning is not canon, so they could address it in a third one. Because if that meaning is canon, then I mean they've already addressed it. So, but I don't think that meaning is canon.
Well, I think they could explain it more than that. Like, I feel like they could go into the ramifications of how their worlds are connected, right? I think they could go into that. Even if this challenge mode meeting is canon, they think they could expand upon it, right? If it was, but like you said, it's just, I don't see how it's DLC
no sense.
But you know, and the thing is, they may never like really answer that question.
What if we get a Xenoblade 3 and it goes back to Shulk in the game, and then what they're up to?
Oh, so Xenoblade 3 is basically the actual sequel to Xenoblade 1 and then Xenoblade 2. And then Xenoblade 4 will be the actual sequel to Xenoblade 2. Okay.
That'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting. I don't mind.
But they make a third universe somehow, and then they all collide.
Yeah.
That'd be something. That sounds like something Month would actually do. It is like, there's a third universe for no reason.
Yeah, and what if eventually Xenoblade X becomes open world that connects everything?
Oh.
Yeah, because Xenoblade X technically is in the same world as Xenoblade 1 and 2. It's just kind of like way off in the distance.
Very far away.
Right. They're all connected. But yeah, I don't want to risk spoiling anything besides what we've kind of soft spoiled at this point.
Right.
So, yeah. But I think definitely Xenoblade 2 or 3 is on the way. Is it coming soon? I don't know. I think Monolith Soft is going to have something else come out that's not Xenoblade, right? I think a Xenoblade X port is on the way as well. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a sequel to Xenoblade X before we see a sequel to Xenoblade 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that might be because there's a big cliffhanger at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles X. Right. I still don't know what that is. I still haven't seen the ending of that game.
Yeah, they definitely need to address that because there's still a lot of story to be told there as well. And hopefully for Xenoblade X, if they have a sequel for that, I would want them to really kind of like improve upon some things. Which I think some of it, which they'll fix for Xenoblade X, like the font and stuff like that, and the tutorials and such. Right. But I'm really kind of talking about, like, for example, the online mode. Like, I would love it if, like, you could actually explore with your friends in the actual world. Like, make it like Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Maybe everything but the story. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't do the story missions as well. They should be able to play like the entire game.
If it's all about avatars and it's not really about the particular characters, but the actual entire community finding a way to succeed, then yeah.
That should be how it is. Also, freaking grinding, it sucks in that game. There's a lot of parts you can't get farther in the story unless you grind, which sucks.
But exploring the world was so cool. I mean, you could get experience just by finding more areas.
Well, the problem was, like, there were so many different characters, and you had to be a certain, like, friendship level with the characters in order to move on. And a lot of the characters, like, I didn't know this, so I was just playing with the normal characters because those are the characters like. I tried out the other ones, I was like, oh, I don't really like them very much. So I switched back to the main party, and then all of a sudden, I'm at, like, the chapter 11 or something. I gotta get to chapter 12. I'm like, oh, nope. This character you're supposed to have been leveling up and friending up for 11 chapters, but they don't tell you. All of a sudden, I can't get to the next story chapter, and I have to grind for 20 hours with this one character just so I can get to the next chapter.
You're talking about them not leveling up some of the main characters?
Like the different playable characters that you can swap in and out.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember it that well, I guess. I never felt like I had to grind for 20 hours. I did think it was a little hard to find some items though. I wish the Collectopedia would actually give you like a better understanding of where the area is. Like I had to use Google to help myself beat the game.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have to use Google.
Right.
So, and we're talking about just like finding stuff. Like we're talking about like these random blue orbs that are littered all throughout the entire space of this game, which is huge. Like Xenoblade X is one of the biggest open world maps ever. So
it's absolutely enormous.
It definitely feels smaller once you get the mechs, but as a humanoid, it is so tiny. Well, you're so tiny compared to this huge world. Right?
Huge world. Like an ant.
But I could see a Xenoblade X a port coming out next year, and that could even lend itself into a Xenoblade X 2 maybe in 2020. 2-year development cycle, possible, especially if they have several teams and they're already working on the next Xenoblade X game.
Right. I feel like Xenoblade X 2 might take a lot longer than Xenoblade 2, just because the world is so big.
Maybe, yeah, but if they just enhance the same engine, and I'm just saying, like, since they have separate teams, what if they've already been working on it for a little while already? Sure. But I mean, it doesn't have to be 2020. It could be 2021. That's fine. And they're supposedly working on something else too.
Because supposedly they're working on that non-Xenoblade medieval game. They've been working on Xenoblade 2 and Torn Country. They're probably also working on this export. So I don't think they're working on X2 on top of that.
Right.
That'd be insane.
Well, they could be
4 projects.
They could.
I don't know. They're probably also some of them might be working on Zelda. Although they kind of get in kind of later in the cycles, they might not be working on Zelda quite yet because there's probably still the planning phase for that.
Are they in the planning phase?
At least partially. They might. I don't think Monolith jumped into like the last year or two of development.
Well, why does Monolith have to help out with the next Zelda?
They don't. I'm just saying they might.
They could because they're really good at helping create big open worlds. So maybe. maybe. How cool would it be if the next Zelda?
Two Zeldas, so it wouldn't be surprising if the next Zelda.
Wait, they helped out with Skyward Sword?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. How cool would it be if they used the Breath of the Wild engine and recreated like Termina for Majora's Mask?
Oh gosh.
Like, and I don't just mean like, you know, copy and paste and with those assets. I mean like completely reimagine it so it's way bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
Way
like for example, Ocarina of Time reimagined into Breath of the Wild. Like Hyrule in Ocarina of Time was reimagined, and we see it in Breath of the Wild, right? And how much bigger that is. Imagine if they were to reimagine Termina and maybe even connect it to Hyrule. I mean, that would just be so cool.
That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, it really would be. Yeah, so let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Oh, there's a lot.
Capcom helped with, I think, several of the 2D Zelda games back in the day.
Hey, Caleb. Hey, Typically Awesome. Wait, who Capcom helped out with what?
Sabbath asked, did Capcom help make Oracle of Seasons and Ages?
Yes.
Yes. They also helped make...
They made it.
Yeah.
Minish Cap.
Yeah, Minish Cap. That's what they did.
Yep. Capcom is responsible for developing those games, and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Zach is back. He's saying Golden Sun Switch confirmed. Well, we did get that trademark made, and we got trademarks for Smash and Animal Crossing last year, and we got those confirmed this year. So maybe Golden Sun of some sort will be confirmed next year. And, you know, there is a lot of information suggesting that Isaac could make it into Smash Brothers, so that could tie in really well with each other. So maybe, right? I love this. I love the idea of Isaac being introduced for Smash Ultimate and then using that to really, you know, advertise the next Golden Sun game coming out on Switch. And if it's announced next year, that'd be, oh man, that'd be so cool. But if there's a Golden Sun game in the works, that just makes I feel like it can't be a 2019 game. Maybe, I don't know. Because we have no idea how long it's been in development, but I feel like it hasn't, because there's just so much they could be working on already. So, let's move on to the next topic, actually, because there's another game that we didn't really know that was in development that was announced recently at the last Direct. It kind of threw us all for a loop, and that's Luigi's Mansion 3. Next Level Games is developing it, right? What was the last game they made before Luigi's Mansion 3?
Didn't they work on...
Federation Force?
Yeah, Federation Force.
And that came out in 2016? Yeah. Okay, so that game's coming out in 2019. So I guess they basically just moved on from... So they did Dark Moon, then they moved on to Federation Force on 3DS, and after that, I guess they moved on to Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch, and that looks like it's going to have like a 3-year development cycle. So that that pretty much... That makes sense.
It's big enough for Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, so there's been a little bit of conversation about it, but I feel like you and I are both in agreement that for Luigi's Mansion 3, the game's going to take place all in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe you could explore, like, the yard around the hotel, but, like, you're not going to another building. I don't think that's going to happen.
Right, yeah. I think it's going to be like the original Luigi's Mansion.
Right, but this is going to be way bigger. Like, they made it a hotel for a reason, so they can have a really big space. Because Luigi's Mansion 1, you could beat the game in like 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours, right? This hotel, I think it's gonna be indicative of a much bigger game. Now, I'm not saying like 30, 40 hours, but I could see the game being 10 to 15 hours, right? But it's like one of those like spaces that's it's all interconnected, right? Like, you know, there's you know how Luigi's Mansion 1, like, it's all interconnected. There's traps and holes and lots of secrets all hidden throughout. It's all very well crafted. I could see the hotel being like that. I mean, Dark Moon had a lot of details within the levels, but it was all segmented.
Right.
This is all going to be interconnected, I think. So it's going to be not open world because it's all in one building, but it's going to be open building.
Open building.
Open big building. So you're gonna be able to explore that hotel thoroughly, and it's gonna be huge with tons of secrets and probably slides and a giant basement. And I mean, you point out in your trailer analysis how even when you see the hotel, like, you can see like different kinds of room. Like, there's a green room. There's looks like what it was gonna be like some sort of electronical retro room, right?
Yeah.
So
there was a castle. There was an area I expected it to be like a kind of ancient Greece area, because all you could see was like pillars. Unfortunately, the text was kind of blocking it. The logo, but it looked like some kind of like pillar area, so there's a lot of different areas.
I'm calling it right now. There's going to be a water area. Like it's either gonna be a pool or an aquarium, maybe both, right? And you're gonna fight some sort of water demon ghost. Like imagine if they you know what I mean? Like what if there's they could even tie it into a well outside. Oh man, there's so many ideas that they could do with this. And it'd be really cool if they really like pull in like a lot of like different like horror tropes, right? Like what if they have like a television where something comes out of the television with really long hair, right? Which is a reference to The Ring, right? What if there is something that has like a chainsaw? Obviously, it wouldn't be bloody because it's Luigi's Mansion, but it could still be scary, right? It could still give you like spooks and jumps.
Spooks.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any like?
I hope that ghosts talk shit all the time, like they did in the first one.
Yeah, it'd be fun because they were very in Dark Moon. They had a lot of like the ghosts that were just roaming around. They had a lot of personality, and they were very they would mess with you a lot. So I would like to see that, but at the same time, the way the designs look, they do look a little bit more menacing, which I kind of like. I just hope we get a return of the portrait ghosts, because those are really cool. Do you remember the portrait ghosts from Luigi's Mansion 1? Or do you know of them at least?
Are those just the bosses?
Well, throughout the game, there were like, I think there was like 20 portraits, so like throughout the mansion.
Yeah, the special boss ghosts that you beat, and they turned into portraits, right? And they like better portraits if you beat them better.
There were some of them were bosses, but a lot of them weren't bosses. They were more maybe like mini bosses, but there was a whole bunch of them.
Like mini bosses, like real powerful ghosts that you just find randomly.
Right, but each one had like its own story, and you had to kind of like figure out what's its problem.
Like the guy who like worked out in the gym area. There was the grandpa in the study. There's a bunch of different.
It's been such a long time, so I don't remember them in detail. But yeah, like there's, for example, one's like crying, and you have to figure out why she's crying, and then find things. You pay attention to what it is they're doing, try to figure out what it is that ties them to the world. They're still keeping them tethered to reality, whatever, like his ghosts, usually the reason why ghosts stay in reality, right, in the same realm as humans is because there's something that's tying them into the real world. Maybe it's like a lost lover, or maybe they want revenge, or maybe there's a special item or book that they treasure, something like that. So it'd be really cool if they brought back portrait ghosts, or they don't even have to be in portraits, but like just the idea of ghosts that have these stories that you have to figure out, pay attention to, and figure out what's drawing them to the world, and try and use that to capture them. I would love it if they were to do that. Maybe have like 40 portrait ghosts, or 50.
I mean, it
100.
Might be.
No, 900 like Korok seeds.
Oh jeez.
No, that'd be too
I mean, I think there's a much more potential for that in this one, just because there's so many different types of areas that they could really take that to the next level. That idea. Because I love that in the original. As Sava said, it's basically the ghosts who were living in the mansion before. So, like, there's this giant hotel.
Oh my god, yeah, because it's a hotel. Right, people, like, there could be people who were having an affair, and then they died, right? There could be a murderer. There could be a fat lady who's just so lonely all the time. Like, there's so many options. This is going to be great. This is going to be great.
Yeah,
I'm loving the idea of this.
Because those are really good in the original.
Yeah, oh my god, this would be so cool.
I feel like the only reason they weren't in Dark Moon was because the mansions were, like, less... like
part of it's the hardware limitation, right?
That
and also hardware consideration, considering
areas.
Yeah. So it was just kind of more like linear puzzles, right? In a way. Well,
it was trying to be more of an on-the-go Luigi's Mansion type experience.
Right. That's why I kind of even like necessarily thinking of Dark Moon as like a numbered Dark Luigi's Mansion 2. I kind of like seeing it as more of like a spin-off, right? But I mean, it doesn't matter. Luigi's Mansion is Luigi's Mansion. So like this hotel, because it's a hotel, it's gonna have that history, and whoever was staring at the hotel, there's so many options of that. It'll be really, really cool. Yeah. Oh, I love what we're thinking of here. There's so many possibilities.
Like in the music area, there could be like the performers who used to perform in that music area.
Yeah.
Like, there's all kinds of.
There could be a chef. There's gonna be a chef. 100% confirmed. There is a chef. There is a chef. There's a janitor. There's definitely gonna be a janitor. There's gonna be a cleaning lady. Oh my god, there's so many people that I already know are in the game. Like, this is so cool. Oh, this is gonna be so much. There should be a vampire. I'm getting my, like, what's that it's not a Netflix series, but it's a show that's on Netflix. the not horror. There's like, you know, the different what's the name of the series? Like every season's like a different horror story.
I actually don't know.
You guys in the comments know. You guys know.
They probably know. I don't know Netflix things.
It's not. It's something. Something.
That's very detailed clues, my friend.
Yes, something. Well, they reuse the same actors for every season, but every season is like a different story.
It's Scooby-Doo.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
No, Scooby-Doo. Yeah, it's a Scooby-Doo. No, it's American Horror Story. Yeah, thank you, Zulahoiko. That is it. Thank you so much. I've only seen a couple of the seasons, but that is what I'm referring to. American Horror Story. If you watch American Horror Story, you'll get so many different ideas for what they could do. There's even a season that covers a hotel, right? So that's probably where some of my ideas are kind of like coming out of. So yeah, like, there's just so much potential with this, and I love the idea that they're going to focus on this one big area because it's going to be a very well-crafted, very well-detailed world with characters that have these stories, and you're going to figure it all out, and it's going to be all interconnected, and I'm going to love it. It's going to be so cool. Do you think it's going to be Big Boo as a main bad guy?
I've heard some speculation because there's like a crystal that looks like the crystal on his crown on top of the tippy top of the tower, so he's probably them.
Probably Big Boo.
Why can't they get a new boss though? Why don't they get a new villain? Get a new villain in there.
Well, I mean,
King Boo's pretty generic.
You could say that for Mario too, right? Why can't they get a?
That's true.
Yeah.
Bowser's more interesting.
You know, what'd be cool though? What if Big Boo is just magnetized towards like areas that have, you know, problems with like spirits and stuff, and he's brought into this area, right? And he's the one that sort of sets everything into motion, but there's actually one lost soul in this hotel that's even more messed up, even more powerful, and he screws over Big Boo at the end, and he's the real bad guy. Oh, that would be cool, right? Like he could be kind of like an anti-Zant, right? Because remember from Twilight Princess, Zant seemed like the main bad guy for Twilight Princess, but then right at the end, they're like, nope, it's still Ganondorf, and Zant is just my minion. But in Luigi's Mansion 3, what if Big Boo, right, seems like the main bad guy, but then all of a sudden this more powerful spirit who just has dominion over the hotel is like, no. And then he thwarts Big Boo, and then he's the real, like, final boss. Like that, I don't know. This is pure speculation.
Yes, why do we not work at Nintendo?
Yeah, maybe they already know. Maybe they already know, and they're already ahead of us.
They're ahead of the game.
Yeah, I think it's probably Big Boo though. But I would love it if they were to kind of like, you know, throw us a curveball. They might. I mean, they might do that. Maybe they'll be like, hey, you know what, Big Boo's this is his third game in a row where he's like, you know, just the main bad guy. Let's throw them a curveball. That'd be cool. I mean, actually, for the first Luigi's Mansion, they made us think it was Bowser at first, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, maybe they will throw another curveball like that. Could happen. What if we finally discover that EGAD is evil? You know, there's a theory that Professor EGAD is evil.
I know there's a theory.
I don't think he's evil. I think he's like neutral. I think he cares more about science and research.
Oh yeah,
and
way more.
And whether it's good or bad, he'll just do whatever it takes to, you know, and for the sake of science. His science, at least. Yeah. That would be interesting to learn more about EGAD. Do you think we'll get to see Flood?
I don't see why we would. Maybe he'll be there as like a Easter egg.
Yeah, I guess the thing that I always wanted though is that when Luigi's Mansion came out, the next year we got Mario Sunshine, and Flood is from Professor EGAD. He was invented by Professor EGAD. I was kind of always hoping that they would kind of delve deeper into that story, Professor EGAD, and all these different devices he's created, right, and go beyond just the scope of Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion. They didn't, right? It was more like an Easter egg more than anything else. But it would be cool. Heck, you know what? I want a Super Mario Sunshine too, but there's so much I want. There's only so much they can be given. Yeah.
They made it actually good. I'd want that.
Let me see what you guys are saying about in the chat. It would be cool if they added jump scares to Luigi's Mansion 3. Absolutely agree, Sawa64.
Yes.
Love it.
Need jump scares. Jump scares. Because I don't think Luigi's Mansion 3 is ever gonna be like a one of those games where it's like you're scared all the time. It's more on the jump scare kind of.
Yeah, it's in the moments, but maybe it has like that ambiance. It's like spooky, but it's not like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, it's not like playing Resident Evil where you feel like you're going to die every
where something bursts out of a closet and it's gonna suck out your heart and tear your head off. And I'm not gonna say anything else because I want to keep this. You know, I don't want to get any like flags.
Right.
But I was about to. In my head, I was going ham with the vocabulary there.
I want to keep this stream monetized.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Zoological, I kind of agree with you. He's saying that this one looks promising, but he doesn't care if it's short, but he doesn't want it to be like super easy or obvious. Yeah, it doesn't have to be long, but I think it's definitely gonna be longer than the original Luigi's Mansion. Like, I think expecting maybe 10 hours might not be too much of a stretch, right? But like 10 hours, but it's very nice gameplay that maybe it's replayable. You can find more secrets as you go. It just has a lot to discover and sift through within that. It's dense, and you can it's just all like intermixed and interlocked and very carefully woven together.
I'm hoping for 15. 20 seems a little long though. I don't know.
What if they had a challenge mode? What if they added challenge mode? What if do you remember the Nintendo Land, the Luigi's Mansion game in there?
Oh yeah.
What if they got that mini game and expanded upon it? And it has that as a challenge mode in Luigi's Mansion 3, like as an additional multiplayer thing you can play online.
That'd be interesting.
I don't really.
It'd have to be online. I don't know. I mean that mode was very dual screen.
Right, but I'm just saying in 3DS. I mean, it would have to be redone and reformatted, of course, but just like that idea. But like, keep in mind, in 3DS they added a co-op mode to Luigi's Mansion the remake, so they could have like multiplayer in mind in the future for Luigi's Mansion 3. So I don't need the multiplayer because what I really care for is that experience of exploring the hotel and looking through the history and figuring out the problems of the ghost and what just kind of figuring out how to navigate this spooky hotel. So as long as they focus on that and it's in depth and there's a lot to find, lots of secrets, and it's challenging, now I'm okay with that. So yeah, maybe Toad and Professor Egad could be playable. Well, I don't need that to happen, but when we look at the trailer, there was those pictures that had Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach crossed out. So what if there has to be another party involved to get Luigi free before, he's free? Because his name is crossed out for some reason. I'm not sure entirely why. But it looks like it's either A, it's like a hit list, or it's like, oh, we got these guys, right? So it's one or the other, so they may start off trapped. Maybe. Egad is definitely going to be in the game in some way, for sure, because that's what he's part of it. It wouldn't be Luigi's Mansion without Egad. Let me see. Oh, Dry Bowser! I love that idea.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
He's very spooky.
Yeah.
They gotta give him a spooky design though, like a real HD design.
It'd be really cool. Oh my god, Dry Bowser would be so sick. Shadow Gamer's just here for Smash. He's joking.
It better be a lot more detailed.
Oh, it'd be interesting if they introduced Daisy, right? Since, Daisy's kind of more insinuated to be like Luigi's love interest because, Mario's got Peach. It'd be interesting if they had Daisy in here somehow. That'd be really cool, actually. I would love to see Daisy take on more of a narrative role. It's been a while.
Right.
Yeah.
She's just been in the sports games.
Yeah, pretty much. Or what if Waluigi's the bad guy for Luigi's Mansion 3?
Oh,
I don't want that. But I wouldn't mind if he was in the game. I'm just saying I don't think he's the final boss.
No, if Waluigi's the final boss, I'd be upset.
Yeah. But maybe it would be interesting though. What if like Wario and Waluigi were in the game and like some ghost hired them to like steal Daisy to get Luigi to go or something, Of course, I think it's more realistic to think that they're on vacation there because Mario's luggage was in the hotel, right? So they probably went on vacation there. which kind of reminds me of Sunshine, where they went on vacation as well. So it's kind of
Luigi didn't go.
No, Luigi didn't go.
See, it might have been that Luigi didn't go, and then he heard about it, and then he wanted to go.
Yeah.
Like the original, he wasn't there to begin with. Neither he wasn't there to begin with in Dark Moon either. He always just came later.
What if he tried to invite Daisy to come too, but then she rejected him and he was really depressed, so he got there late, and that's why everyone else got captured and he has to go save them.
Interesting.
Yes, but that would mean that Daisy rejected Luigi and she wouldn't really be in the game. I don't know. I think it's not likely that Daisy will be in the game because she's never really been in any main Mario game for years, right?
Right.
Narratively, she's just usually into sports games. But I would love to see her. So we'll see. Maybe it'll happen. You know, Luigi deserves a love interest. He deserves it. So we'll see what happens. But let's move on to Metroid Prime 4. Basically, we're gonna talk about Metroid Prime 4 because there was a recent picture that was tweeted by Jeff Keighley, the host for the Game Awards, where he took a photo with Reggie, and Reggie was wearing a Metroid shirt. And now, while that may sound really, really simplistic and not really enough reason for us to think, hey, the Metroid Prime 4 is coming, if you understand the context and the history, it does actually seem very likely that they're teasing Metroid Prime 4, because there's a history at the Game Awards where Reggie has wore a Metroid pin, and he was having an interview with Retro Studios, and they were announcing something really cool, and it was just Cranky Kong, and then that created a whole fuss on the internet. Nintendo was very well aware of it. Reggie was very well aware of it. So now, at the Game Awards, now Nintendo has set a precedent of actually having game reveals at the Game Awards, right? They've done that the last couple of years, and you know, and they've also set the precedent that they're aware of these teases. Now that Reggie's taking this picture with Jeff Keighley and they're teasing something, obviously, and he's wearing the Metroid shirt, people are thinking, hey, is it time for the Metroid Prime 4 reveal? And I think it makes a lot of sense because, one, we also kind of expected Metroid Prime 4 to be revealed this year at E3. It wasn't revealed, right, and we were disappointed, but we also expected to get reveals for Animal Crossing as well, and we didn't get a reveal for that, but guess what? We just got a reveal for Animal Crossing not too long ago. So It's not that these games aren't ready to be shown off or revealed, it's just that Nintendo was holding back. So maybe Metroid Prime 4 will finally get revealed at the Game Awards. What do you think, Brandon?
I think there's definitely a possibility of something Metroid getting announced, whether it be Metroid Prime 4 or Metroid Prime Trilogy HD or something like that. I think there's definitely a possibility here because they, as you said, they've been announcing things lately. But whether or not they would show, like, what of Metroid Prime they would show, that's kind of my question. Like, would they show just a teaser? Would it be CGI? Would it be gameplay? How much gameplay? Like, I don't think they would go too in depth, obviously.
I think it's going to be a 45-minute gameplay demo.
Yes, 45-minute gameplay
demo. I'm kidding.
For sure. For real.
Well, so you brought up some valid points though, like, because they're going to show off Metroid Prime Trilogy instead, right? And that makes a lot of sense. But I'm going to say that for sure, I feel really confident about this. I'm at 99.9% confidence level. That's my confidence level in this, that we're going to see Metroid Prime 4 at the Game Awards. That's how confident I am. So let me explain. Aside from all that's already been said, I feel like it's pretty obvious that they're teasing Metroid at the Game Awards to some capacity, but what? Yeah, sure, it doesn't have to be Metroid Prime 4. It could be Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, which has also been talked about for quite some time already, right? That makes a lot of sense, and we kind of should maybe have some sort of build-up, have the Prime Trilogy come out, because no one's played Metroid Prime 4, and the game's actually going to be called Metroid Prime 4, but there's going to be so many new players who haven't played the first 3 Prime games on the Switch that they probably should make it available. So I agree that there's a high chance that Prime Trilogy could be shown off at the Game Awards. And in fact, I'm actually saying that it will be at the Game Awards now. I'm thinking what's going to happen is going to be kind of like Bayonetta last year. We got 3 different Bayonetta games announced for the Nintendo Switch. At the Game Awards, Nintendo's going to one-up that and announce 4 Metroid games for the Nintendo Switch. They're going to announce the trilogy as an HD remake, and then they're going to show off Metroid Prime 4, which it's technically already announced, but they're going to actually reveal it. Because they did that for Bayonetta. They showed off Bayonetta 1 and 2 coming to the Nintendo Switch, and then they had the Bayonetta 3 teaser. I think we're going to get that as well.
That would make a lot of sense if they... I think they would show off Metroid Prime Trilogy first, and then they would lead into Metroid Prime 4. However, I wonder if it will be just a tease and not.
I think Metroid Prime 4 has to be. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure Metroid Prime 4 will be the end of the show. I think I know that's how it's gonna go. But go on with what you were saying. Sorry, I'm excited. Just excited as much.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty much done. I'm just my point was just like, I wonder if it will just be CGI or they'll show just a tiny bit of gameplay. Would it be a
we'll see some gameplay. Would it be
actual like gameplay?
Good question. I don't think it's gonna be like a demo. Like, remember that Game Awards event where we got to see like Link explore like the Faron Woods, right? No, it's not gonna be like an actual gameplay demo where they walk us through for like 5 minutes. It's gonna be like a trailer. But this trailer, I think, will give us a good idea of what to expect from Metroid. Like, we're gonna see how the game's gonna look. I think it's gonna be. We're gonna know how the game's gonna look. Like, maybe it won't be like. I think it's gonna be more, because they already did the tease, right? They already did the tease. I don't think Nintendo's gonna have another tease. I think it's gonna be a trailer with at least some gameplay, right? Maybe kind of like Luigi's Mansion 3, right? Which is, it doesn't tell you much, but it tells you, it gives you enough to know how the game's gonna basically look, right? And give you an idea of the story and some gameplay elements. That's how it's gonna be. That's what I think.
I think my thinking is that it's gonna be a lot of cutscenes from the game with gameplay mixed in between.
Actually, let's look up the Metroid Prime.
we broke up there a bit. I don't know what happened.
We broke up? Oh.
Yes, we are no longer together.
Oh.
But I don't know, something.
I'm sorry, I crashed my water glass on the desk. I think that may have been it. Can you hear? You can hear me now, though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
It was something. I don't know if it was you or me, but the connection kind of.
But we're good now.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so what I was gonna suggest, what if we just look up the first Metroid Prime trailer reveal trailer? I mean, yes, it's a different team, different time, so the strategy may be different, but how did they reveal the first Metroid Prime? I think they showed gameplay. But then again, it was the first time they were showing it, so why are you gonna tease? If it, they did, yeah.
I'm looking at the reveal. It is a complete tease.
Keep in mind, Metroid Prime 3 was already teased. I mean, Prime 4 has already got the tease, and that was a year and a half ago.
Right. But this one had a bit. It was a complete. Yeah, it's just CGI. I think the models are basically the same.
Metroid Prime trailer.
No, these models are.
The first trailer. What if I do if I add a window capture so you guys can see?
But E3 2001 trailer.
I just want to see if they show gameplay. I'm pretty sure they show gameplay.
They show like.
Yep, gameplay.
Some gameplay.
Some. That's it. It's just a tease. Yeah, I think it's basically kind of like the Luigi's Mansion 3 trailer. That's what I'm thinking. So anyway, there's one more point I wanted to bring up.
I don't know what you saw, but what I had is no gameplay.
Well, we saw two different things.
It has fake gameplay, CGI gameplay.
I saw gameplay, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Well, it kind of matters, but I think we're gonna see some gameplay because they've already done a tease. They did a tease a year and a half before. By the time this is shown off, it's gonna have been more than a year, about a year and a half since they actually did the tease. So I feel like they're not gonna do another tease. Not that's.
No, I don't think they will.
Yeah, but another thing is that they kind of, in my opinion, they actually were teasing Metroid Prime 4 at E3. People were having the expectation of it, so how did they end the show? Think about it for a second. Of all the things they could have shown off, when everyone had these high expectations for Metroid Prime 4 to be at E3, they showed Ridley at the end of the Smash Direct, and then not only did they show Ridley at the end, they had an additional cutscene that wasn't even necessarily related to Ridley, because they already had revealed Zero Suit Samus, but they showed Zero Suit Samus, an actual CGI cutscene of Zero Suit Samus coming out. And we have seen how they used the Simon Belmont with Luigi trailer to sort of tease Luigi's Mansion 3. So I think they've been using these CGI trailers to tease things, and the way they ended off E3 with Zero Suit Samus, I think that was also a tease for Metroid Prime 4 in some way, especially because Nintendo knew there was a high expectation to see Metroid of some kind, and they ended the show off with Metroid. So, well, for Smash, but, still Metroid. So I'm thinking that that's just more of a tease, more of a build-up for this eventual Metroid Prime 4 reveal, which I think is happening in the Game Awards, and they tease it again with the shirt. So I think we're going to see Metroid Prime 4, and I think it's going to be shown off along with the Prime Trilogy HD, kind of like they did for Bayonetta's 1 through 3 last year.
Yeah, I would agree. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now, what do you think we will gauge from this Metroid Prime 4 teaser? Well, first, I guess talk about Metroid Prime 3. Like, what do you think they'll show? Do you think they'll say, hey, when is it coming out? How much of an HD remake is it? You know, is it even an HD remake? Is it just an eShop game? Like, what do you think?
I doubt it would be just an eShop game. I think it would be a remake, or a remake. It wouldn't be a remake. It'd be a remaster. So, I think it would be just kind of, same kind of Twilight Princess HD level of changes, new textures, a little better lighting, and 1080p, and you're pretty good to go there.
I think it's gonna be basically Metroid Prime Trilogy running on Dolphin.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot like the video I made predicting how it's gonna look.
Yeah. They might add some additional particle effects and lighting effects and stuff like that, but basically the textures are gonna be cleaned up a lot, and it's gonna be in HD, widescreen, 60 frames per second, as it already is, aside from the HD part. And do you think they'll add any additional content? It's already a big package. That's the thing.
I don't think they need that any more content, to be honest.
Yeah.
Unless they want, I think you came up with the idea, or was it for Metroid Prime? I think you said that you wanted the Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer to be like for the whole game.
Like to readjust, kind of scrap the Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer from Metroid Prime 2 and sort of readjust it for a multiplayer encompassing the entire trilogy in terms of representation and make it online. Yeah.
I think that'd be probably the most that they would add.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be like a super extensive mode. It would be kind of maybe have like 4 to 6 maps, 4 to 8 player deathmatch. But even then, I think it's extensive. That's more of like my blind optimism rather than like, realistic like deduction and investigation.
Maybe they would just
details.
take the Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer and put it online. That they would just exactly how it is.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they could do that. Yeah, I mean, if they use the Prime 2 multiplayer as a base, maybe. I guess the thing is that it's just so basic. I don't know if they would even want to like really like, because you know how Nintendo is with online, right? Like they don't even like when online makes sense, they still don't do it. Like Star Fox hasn't gone online for years, and that's kind of like what makes sense, And on top of that, since it is an HD remaster, like the amount of labor they put into that is pretty minimal, usually. So I think they'll definitely offer like pro controls, right? Like they'll have like a dual analog control setup that works really well with gyro controls, and still have the Wii Motion as an option. Well, not Wii controls, but like they would rework the Joy-Con controls to work like that as well.
Yeah, they could have like the Wii remote controls be when you're using the Joy-Con, or when you're using the Pro controller, it could be like more of a Splatoon type control.
Yeah. What if instead they scrapped the multiplayer and just added additional content? Like, for example, people talked about having Kraid in Metroid Prime. What if they actually had Kraid, right? They added a Kraid section. What if they put Kraid as a boss in the Magmore Caverns for Metroid Prime 1? Be so freaking cool, right? Which is probably why it won't happen. But if it did, I would definitely trade I would definitely like trade the Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer for adding additional content, like having Kraid in there for the Magmore Caverns. That would be awesome. I can't really think of anything else that they would need to add.
It's such a it's 3 big games.
Yeah, it's just so much content in there already. That's the other thing. That it's probably gonna be a lot of work just to make sure the game looks and runs fine. So probably, I think the safe thing to say is just to say they'll just take the game as it was, Prime Trilogy, and just make it in HD and give it better controls, different control options, and that's it. Maybe offer hyper mode from the beginning. That's it. Because hyper mode usually you have to unlock. The Metroid Trilogy games have 3 different difficulties, but only 2 are available from the beginning. Adding hyper mode from the beginning would just, and that's it. I think that's all. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna stick. And Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer will still be in there, but they won't do anything about it. Just be in there. So, yeah, I think that's what it is.
I mean, they might just cut it completely. Just like don't even bother with the multiplayer mode.
Well, I thought about that, right? But then as I was talking about it, I kind of realized that I think there's a high likelihood that Metroid Prime 4 is going to have some sort of multiplayer component to it. And I think if they were to cut the Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer, that could be sending kind of like a mixed signal. And if it's already in the game, why cut it? So unless they were going to be adding something else. But as we're talking about it now, sort of like thinking it through on the spot, I feel like they'll just leave it as is, make it very pure.
Yeah. It might be kind of out of place though, just like this random multiplayer.
Right, but it already was for Prime Trilogy. Prime Trilogy was supposed to be like the remaster of the Prime Trilogy. You know what I mean? Like Prime Trilogy is kind of like a remaster. Like they even updated the graphics on Wii and gave it better controls, right? And added achievements to all 3 games. So we're basically talking about a remaster of a remaster. If you think about it.
Yeah. How much were they? I don't think the graphics were changed that much. Mostly it was just widescreen.
They updated the textures. They cleaned up the textures. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably
I think they added some additional bloom lighting as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But because for whatever reason, some sort of quirk with the Wii and the graphical engine, like they cut out some of the gun animations from Metroid Prime 1. Because of the motion controls or whatever, it just made things weird. So I expect that to return. I think they'll add the gun animations back. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. They had to cut it out. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think about Prime Trilogy, and I think there's a high likelihood that could be shown off at the Game Awards. So, but what do you think about Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah, I definitely think if they're gonna show the trilogy, I think they'll show something of Metroid Prime 4, but I don't think it'll be like super in depth.
Right.
Kind of like maybe even like Luigi's Mansion, but a little bit less.
Pretty much. I mean, if you think about it, right? During the Direct, because the Direct also talked about Luigi's Mansion remake, so there may be more time devoted to talking about the Prime Trilogy, and then we'll have like a 30 to 60 second still teaser, but has some gameplay thrown in for Metroid Prime 4.
I think it'll be in engine. It won't be CGI.
Right. We'll know how the game's gonna look. That it'll tell us how the game's gonna look. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. But I think when we see story elements, I think it's gonna be really hard. There's gonna be story elements. I think we're gonna see Sylix. I think we're gonna see a new Metroid. I think we're gonna see Samus, and we're getting at least an idea if this game's going to be taking place on multiple planets or one planet, because that's also a question that we're not sure how they're going to do, because Metroid Prime 3 was multiple planets, but the first 2 weren't.
Yeah, I predict that the gameplay itself will only be probably a quarter of the trailer, and the rest of it will be cutscenes. Or story stuff.
Interesting. I guess the thing is that Metroid Prime, like, there isn't even really that many cutscenes in the series, right? Like, there's cutscenes, like, when you're about to fight a boss, right? Or like, but it's all like in game. It's all like thrown into the gameplay, right? Like it's not like oh, there's this huge story RPG cutscene where like Samus is having a soap opera argument with Malcolm, right? Like Adam.
Right.
Like, it's just not. It's so
right.
There will be some cutscenes, but they'll be like in-engine cutscenes intermingled with actual gameplay.
Exactly. I think it'd be more like the cinematic cutscenes to show off the game engine at the beginning. I think that's how they'll open it. They'll show off like kind of like in the beginning of Metroid Prime 1, where you just have like a bunch of cinematic scenes.
So, what do you think? Do you think we're gonna get multiple planets or just one planet?
I don't know.
It's hard to say for myself as well.
Might be better.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, we were just talking about Luigi's Mansion 3, how I like how they're just gonna have stick to one space, it seems. It's not confirmed, right? But based off the trailer, it seems like it's indicating just one space, because they can focus on making that one space very detailed and interlocked and well-woven, right? So, like, if they did that for this game, it would make sense. I mean, that's how Metroid Prime 1 and 2...
That's what I like about Metroid Prime 1 is very, very connected. If there were different planets, I feel like it would kind of disjoint everything.
Yeah, I mean, for Metroid Prime 3, from what I remember, while I enjoyed exploring those planets, and there were, like, some aspects to each planet that you could find, like, a deeper realm to each planet, they did just kind of feel, I felt like I didn't get enough out of each of those planets. I felt like there was something a little bit missing. So if they could find a way to pull it off where you can explore 3 planets, right, but they were all, like, pretty big compared to what you explore in Metroid Prime 1, then I'm all for that. But can they accomplish that? I don't know, and maybe they're just focused on one. It kind of depends. But let's just say, hypothetically, they did go with multiple planets, but I do think there's a high likelihood they would just go for the one, right, and make it very well-crafted and interlocking and have tons of details.
Right.
If it was multiple, I would love the way they're handling space travel in Starlink, where you can actually fly through space from planet to planet, and you just fly into a planet and you fly out, and it's just open world in that way. I mean, they use the flying in and out as like they kind of load the space and the planets as you go in and out of the atmosphere. But if they did it like that, that'd be amazing. I would love that. Like imagine if they made like the space in between like the 3 planets you explore, like open world, right? But like within this open world, like there are space frigates, right, and little asteroids that have like they're like little mini dungeons with different stuff in it.
That'd be cool.
It'd be cool. It'd be completely different for Metroid, right? But I think they could pull it off, but I'm not sure that's the direction they're going to go, because I definitely want it to be more of like, you know, corridors and exploration and finding secrets.
I want it to be more like linear but with options. It's like I don't want Metroid to just be like full blown open world. I want like, you know, maybe I can go to this boss first before this boss, but I'm like I can go anywhere now at any time.
Yeah,
I feel like Metroid doesn't work very well in that way. But maybe they could pull something off and to be like revolutionary for the series, and it would just work really well. But I feel like, well, I don't know.
Let's just talk about the idea. Well, you know what? Let's check the chat, because I feel like this could go on for a while. I feel like let's see what these guys are talking about, and then we'll come back to this, because I feel like we said a lot, you know. But let's see. Zulo Hiko, the Game Awards is December 6th, the day before Smash comes out on December 7th. Yeah, I mean, Robier, we agree. Metroid Prime Trilogy remake, and then a trailer for Metroid Prime 4. 5-second game. I think it would be more than 5 seconds. Well, I mean,
I think it would be more like 10, 15.
10, 15, yeah. No, not Gamescom.
Yeah, they're not going to show anything at Gamescom.
Metroid 5. Oh, okay, you mean like another 2D Metroid, right? I don't know. Like, we don't even know how far Metroid Prime 4 is taking place, right? Like, what if Metroid Prime 4 goes years past Metroid Prime 3, right? Then are we getting into... Because here's the thing, I didn't finish Metroid Fusion, right? But from what I know, there is like supposed to be a bit of conflict building between Samus and the Galactic Federation, right? And we know going into Metroid Prime 4 that Silex has been following Samus. We know that Silex stole a Metroid from the Galactic Federation at the end of Federation Force, which is also supposed to go into the events of Metroid Prime 4. What is Silex is somehow contributing to the controversy between Samus and the Galactic Federation going into Metroid Prime 4, which may have implications for Metroid Fusion. I like the idea of going beyond Metroid Fusion. I want to see how that story goes beyond that, because the Metroid Prime it takes place in between the other Metroid games, the 2D Metroid games. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I do think we're going to get our 2D Metroid eventually. We may even get it next year. I don't know.
I hope not.
I think it's better to have one Metroid a year. But when I remember Metroid Fusion and Metroid Prime came out around the same time, and it was interesting. But that back then we had the Game Boy Advance and we had the GameCube. Now it's just one system, so I think it's probably better to have them come out every year. So maybe Metroid 5 or whatever it's called is announced next year, but we get it, you know, in 2020, and Metroid Prime 4 comes out holiday season 2019.
Hopefully, then I'll be like, oh, 2D Metroid in 2019, Metroid Prime 4 in 2020. Like, no, please.
No, the other way.
Do that.
The other way.
Don't do it. Yes, the other way.
The other way. Yeah. Yeah. So, just kind of going back to what we were talking about, though. So, like, here's just a hypothetical for Metroid Prime 4, right? So, you know how I was talking about, like, we pretty much understand how things would work if it was on one planet, right? But considering that Silex is going to be intermingled here, right, and he's going to be following Samus around, what if, going back to this idea of it being semi-open world, where the space is a semi-open world, so maybe you are chased by, let's say, Silex or what have you, or maybe Silex is keeping tabs on you, right, as we see from at the end of Metroid Prime 3, but since Silex stole the Metroid from the Galactic Federation tells you to retrieve the Metroid, and you have to follow Silex into this small solar system that has, let's say, 3 planets with some asteroids and some space pirates, space frigates, right? And that is the world, and then maybe the Galactic Federation brings in some ships as well, because this Metroid becomes a big issue, and maybe we even get into some of the conflict of, like, the Galactic Federation. So there's a lot of stuff within this solar system that you can explore with your spaceship, right? But this game's so big that when you go into these 3 different planets, they're comparable to how big the original Metroid Prime 1 planet was, right? And that way, I think it would work really well, because it would be kind of like semi-open world, where the space itself is open, where you have to go in there, right, to obtain resources, what have you, but you have to go between different planets, you know, when you need a different kind of device. And maybe Silex is also going between different planets as well, because there's some sort of conflict going on. He's working with the space parts, they're avoiding the Galactic Federation, and they have this Metroid that's being, like, they're doing something crazy to him. That's just an idea, though, right? I definitely think Silex is going to be involved, and the Metroid is going to be involved, and I think the Galactic Federation probably will tell Samus to follow Silex, but in terms of, like, this open world and these 3 different planets, that's just an idea. So what I really want is just for them to really, you know, have a world that's just very well detailed, that's feels, you know, like not linear, but like you said, linear with options, right? So there's a lot of openness to it and how you can go about it, but there is still, like, somewhat of a set path. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Yeah,
that would work.
I have no more water. I'm gonna die of thirst.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, well. So, I think we're about ready to move on to the next topic. Unless there's anything else you guys want to bring up with Metroid Prime 4 before we move on. Well, we still haven't talked about the Game Awards, actually. So, feel free to put in more questions about Prime 4, because it's still kind of related to the Game Awards. But I made a predictions video for the Game Awards, and I talked about maybe we would see Metroid Prime 4, maybe we would see Bayonetta 3, because we got a tease for it last Game Awards. I think we could maybe get another tease this year as well, maybe. But considering that we may see a Prime Trilogy and Metroid Prime 4, that does make it a little less likely. And also talked about how I think this is a given. Definitely gonna see some form of Metroid at the Game Awards, but also I think it's a given that we'll see something about Smash at the Game Awards, because the Game Awards literally is the night before Smash comes out in America, right? Something has to be there, and I talked about, and some people brought it up to me that, hey, by the time the Game Awards happens, Smash will be out in some regions already, so it wouldn't make sense to have, like, a base roster reveal for a character then, because first of all, reviewers already have had the game for like a couple weeks, right? And then secondly, half a part of the world will already have access to the game, so it wouldn't make sense to have a base roster reveal at the Game Awards. But they can have DLC announced at the Game Awards, and in fact, there's history of that. When we played Breath of the Wild, well, not when we played it, but Breath of the Wild last year. Was it last year?
Yes.
Yes, it was. We got we didn't know when they were going to announce the DLC, and they announced it the moment they showed off the trailer for the DLC, and they announced it at the Game Awards. It's coming out now, so maybe they have like a day one DLC for a character that's free at the Game Awards, and it's like, hey, now that this character, hey, first DLC for Smash Brothers, it's free. Download it now and play it after you watch the Game Awards. Or something like that. Something Smash related at the Game Awards, I think, is a given. What do you think, Brandon?
I would think so, just because they're so close.
Yeah.
They would add. I definitely think they wouldn't want to have any paid DLC day one, so that would definitely not.
Right. And actually, Jeff Keighley and Reggie, they addressed this at E3, I think. There was an interview where Jeff was like, oh, you have to put Smash right after my show. I was like, yeah, well, maybe we'll have to do something about that, right? So I definitely think there's something. What it is, I don't know. I think DLC is the most likely scenario, but I like the idea of it being DLC that we gain access to immediately.
That'd be pretty hype.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you think there's everything, but no. Reviewers, they tell you that there's nothing left in the game. That's because they don't have access to this DLC.
Yeah, yeah. So if you were just to like make a call on it, what do you think we would see? I'm assuming you do full on agree with me that we're gonna see something for Smash at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
But if it's not like a DLC character for, say, Banjo-Kazooie, what do you think it could be?
It's a good question.
Rex and Pyra.
Rex and Pyra for Smash coming now. Dude, that'd be hype, but that's not gonna happen.
Not yet.
No, it's...
Well, I mean, I think Rex and Pyra, sooner or later, we're gonna get them. Even if they didn't... I still think there's like a 1% chance we get Rex and Pyra in the base roster, but I think most likely they're DLC.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, they could announce the first wave of DLC and announce when it's coming out.
I like the idea of them making it like a season pass. Maybe you can buy each... You will be able to buy each character individually, but I want there to be a season pass.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's a season pass for Smash for Wii U.
No.
No, I want a season pass.
They should make a season pass.
$30, you know, and you get like maybe 6 characters, 6 stages that are spread out throughout the next year. And an Echo.
Would that be $30 though? Maybe $20 would be better for that.
Well, considering how expensive the DLC for Smash for Wii U and 3DS was,
pretty expensive.
It really was.
It was pretty damn expensive.
But the thing is, on an individual basis, though, right? If we were just putting 30, you know, they're getting 30 from everyone who wants DLC, right? But you know what I'm saying? Like they may have made more money on a per character basis the way they did it. But if they have like a season pass, there are more people that'll put in 30 than just 5 or 10 for 1 or 2 characters that they like, right?
Yeah.
So I think they can make more money that way, and it would make more sense because first of all, I didn't buy all the characters for Smash for Wii, basically because I
didn't buy any of them.
I didn't get I didn't get Corrin and I didn't get Bayonetta because at the time I was debating it. I was like, wait, the next Smash for the next system is probably not too far off, so I waited. And then 3 years later, here I am. So,
graduated, getting all the characters for free.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now the Smash Ultimate's gonna have all of them. So, yeah.
You don't have to play all the DLC on your Wii U. You get to play them for free on the Switch.
Yeah. I don't think they would even reveal if they had a season pass. I don't think they would reveal every Smash character though. I think they would. They wouldn't even be ready to be shown off. They could show off like 1, maybe 2. Probably one, unless it comes with an Echo on a stage. If it wasn't like a season pass, what else do you think it could be?
It's hard to say. They could just be a stage, free.
Poke Floats 2.0. Download it for free now. So still DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd have to be DLC, I think.
Yeah. A Smash Pass. I love the name of that. Smash Pass. Good name, Sabbath. Yeah, I think we agree it would be DLC at the Game Awards. I think, yeah, we're in agreement on that. So let's talk about Bayonetta though, because a lot of people think Bayonetta might go on. I even predicted it as well, but I wasn't considering a Metroid Prime Trilogy HD at the time when I predicted Bayonetta 3 at the Game Awards. Do you think it'll happen, or no?
That'd be a lot. Unless the Game Awards really stepping up their game this year. I don't see them having Metroid Prime Trilogy, Metroid Prime 4, Smash, and Bayonetta.
And No More Heroes.
And No More Heroes. It's just too much. The Game Awards is never that exciting.
Well, let's see what Nintendo... I'm trying to remember exactly what Nintendo announced at the Game Awards last year. I know they had the Breath of the Wild DLC and Bayonetta 1 through 3. So technically that's 4 announcements. There may have been more. They may have talked about, even had the No More Heroes trailer. I don't remember. Game Awards 2017 Nintendo. Maybe we'll see what that gives me. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember what they showed off. It might be pretty much it. Okay, so I'm just kind of looking through this list here. Breath of the Wild DLC. These are just like news articles, so I don't even know. Yeah, and then Nintendo announced Bayonetta 3 as a Switch. Bayonetta 1 and 2 are heading to a Switch update.
I think it was just those those 3 announcements.
Yep, that was it, which is pretty good, I would say. So, I mean, if we get Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, Metroid Prime 4, and a Smash DLC announcement, that would be an amazing Game Awards. And I think, yeah, I would say that, you know, out of all the predictions I made the other day, I would say that the Bayonetta 1 is the most likely to be wrong. And we may have to wait a little longer to see Bayonetta 3. But I don't think it's
see it, though.
Still might see it, right?
I mean, that's only one more announcement than last year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's true. So, we'll see. Yeah, it could happen. Which, I guess, sort of kind of gets us ready for the next... Well, not really. We're going to talk about less Smash. Unless you want to... Do you guys want to talk about the news article or from the interview with Sakurai, how he's talking about how we should maybe preserve our expectations about the pace of character reveals, or should we talk about Nintendo in 2019? Which one should we go into?
Smash.
Okay, we'll talk about Smash, and then we'll talk about Nintendo in 2019 if we have time. So let me just kind of check the chat first, what you guys are saying. Alright, I'm glad Sabbath agrees that the season pass sounds better than just one random thing. And then... Yeah, I could see Bayonetta 3 making it into E3 2019. Alright, so yeah, let's talk about the Sakurai interview. I wonder if I have it here on a tab so I can kind of read the translation. I think, who was it that had a translation for it? It was... Oh, here we go. So... He said several things, but we're going to be focusing on just the part that he said related to newcomers. So he said this. That said, if you... This is a translation, by the way, so it could be a little off, but it's probably relatively close to what the meaning's probably pretty much there. So that said, if you were thinking that we'd just be dropping a bunch of newcomer trailers all the way up until release, you'd be sorely mistaken. We have gone a little bit overboard up until now, so we're going to slow our pace from here on out. So then... Brandon, from that quote, how do you interpret it? What do you think that means?
Well, to me, that doesn't mean... I'm not saying... He doesn't really seem to be saying that there's less reveals left. Just that they've been announcing them too close. Like they had the... You know, they had the E3, and then they had a huge Smash Direct. And then during the other Direct, they also had more Smash reveals. So I think if... They're not just like every month. It's not going to be new Smash characters.
Right.
They're going to wait probably till November or maybe late October, but I'm kind of thinking November now. And just have one big Smash thing, and that'll be it.
And I think context is important because this is an interview basically about Isabelle, right? So Isabelle was like a one character shown off during the Direct, right? So, you know, whenever there's another event or Direct, right, people are like, oh, will they show Minecraft Steve at the Minecraft event, right? Or will Skull Kid be announced for Halloween, right? Like, things like that.
Yeah, probably not going to happen.
Probably, yeah, he's trying to say, hey, look, we're not going to have, like, basically individual character reveals at more events like this the same way.
Every time we talk about something, we're not also going to talk about Smash.
Right. Like, for example, like a Tokyo Game Show, they're not going to be like, hey, look, Metroid, like, Monster Hunter guy is here, right? Like, no, that's not, I don't think that's going to happen, and I think that's pretty much what he's saying.
There was Steve coming to Smash at Minecon. Like,
yeah, do you think that deconfirms him?
What? Does that deconfirm him? No.
I would say no, but
it makes him a lot less...
Slightly. I think it's only slight, though, because I feel like they wouldn't do the reveal here. I just don't think they would do that.
I don't know how big a thing Minecon is. I never heard about it till...
Yeah. I know some people were talking about Minecraft Steve being revealed at this event, which I think was just kind of like optimistic speculation, right? So if he's in the game, I think they're just saving it. I think it's pretty much one more big event, and then a Smash test. I think we were talking about in the Discord. I think a Smash test would make the most sense to happen like after this final Direct. Once they've revealed the full roster for Smash Brothers, then they'll have the Smash test. Yeah,
probably. They want to announce as much as possible before then, and they want it as close to the release as possible as well. So there's less. Even if there is more secrets, it's less chance of being dynamite.
So let's look at
after the last Direct. I am totally expect the Spirits mode's gonna be talked about. all the different modes online, all the characters.
And the last characters, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not going to be much to date mine after that.
Pokemon Let's Go comes out November 16th. So, looking at my calendar, I'm trying to come up with a prediction here.
Right.
Looking at my calendar, right? So we're in October, right? November 16th. So, and Thanksgiving is on the 23rd. So, I think the Smash test will happen Thanksgiving weekend, 2 weeks before Smash comes out. And I think the Smash Direct will happen 2 weeks before the Smash test. So I think we'll see an announcement for the Smash Direct November 7th or the 6th or 7th, and we'll get it on November 8th on a Thursday. And then next week we'll get Pokemon Let's Go. And the week after that we'll get the Smash test. Then it'll just be 1 week of nothing. And then November 7th, the day after the Game Awards, we'll get Smash. That's what I'm thinking.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that could happen.
Because, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I feel like 1 week is too close to Smash coming out.
You want to play it before. You want to play it, like, a couple weeks before.
Right, because that gives them time to make the reason to do the Smash test is to also test the servers and stuff like that, and, they want to make sure everything's running fine.
I think the original Splatoon test fire was, like, 2 weeks before the game came out.
We can figure that out.
But I remember it's pretty
First,
close.
Splatoon test fire. Oh, just tell me about Oh wait. There's an Incopedia. Splatoon test fire. The first North America events were announced on. So it happened August 21st, 2015. And when did Splatoon come out?
No, it came out in May. There was another one afterwards in like
What?
I don't think this source is screwed up. There's no way it came. There might have been one at those times. That wasn't the first one.
That's first. Let me look at the release here for Splatoon. Yeah, you're right. It came out.
Yeah,
in
that's
May.
when it returned. When did it originally? The Splatoon Global Test Fire briefly returned from 21 of August to 23rd of August. But when was it?
Because was there one before it came out?
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely was. I remember playing it.
I don't think there was. I think you had to buy the game to try it out. Splatoon 2.
I remember playing it before.
Splatoon 2 had a test fire before it came out. I don't think there was a test fire for Splatoon 1 until after the game came out. I don't think it was even a test fire. I think it was just.
I remember playing it before the game came out, though.
You sure you're not confusing that with Splatoon 2?
No, because I remember the Splatoon 1 because the servers were terrible. They fixed it was a lot better in Splatoon 2. I remember in Splatoon 1 you couldn't hardly get into the game.
Well,
it was so bad.
According to the Incopedia,
I bought the game day one, and I'd already played it before it came out.
Okay, look, actually, the Splatoon test fire was the second Splatoon demo released by Nintendo. It was released on the 17th of August 2015 and was announced. The Splatoon demo was similar to Splatoon Global Test Fire.
It's not saying that there was one, but it's not saying when it was. Yeah, it's scheduled ahead of time of the release of the game, but when?
Briefly returned. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
returned.
it says scheduled times ahead of the release of the game. It just doesn't say what those scheduled times were because it's being retarded. Oh no, I found it. If you scroll down, it says, of course, May 8th. The game came out on, I believe,
May 23rd.
Yeah.
So that's 2 weeks. That's 3 weeks, actually.
Yeah. That's why I was like 2-3 weeks out. So I was right. Right.
14.
That is
8.
the most confusing article ever.
It's 2 weeks.
Jeez.
Basically 2 weeks. 2 weeks and a day, or something.
Yeah. So I was pretty much on point.
Yep. So 2 weeks. Yeah, there we go. And actually, we can look up Splatoon 2. See when that test fire was released.
I think that one was a bit earlier. That one was like a lot earlier.
It was a lot earlier. That's true.
It was months.
I'm just gonna look it up. See, because they had 2. Right? They had 2 test fires for Splatoon 2 before it came out. Or no. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
They might have one after it came out. Right, I'm looking at the trailer for it. Yeah, they had that one on the 24th of
so
March.
It looks like the first one came out in March. Yeah, it was March. And then Splatoon 2 came out like May?
July.
July, yeah.
Yeah, mid-July.
So that doesn't really help us, but I guess, you know, there's precedence for being 2 weeks before. I think 1 week is just too soon. So I think we all agree that this test smash that we're all sort of talking about can't happen the week before.
No.
But it also should happen after they reveal the characters out of fear of a data mine. Mm-hmm. Which basically means that this next Smash Direct has to be sooner than later. I think that basically puts us at... Well, there's a possibility that they have the Direct and then they have the Smash Test literally the weekend after, right? Like, they can announce the Smash Test on Thursday. Hey, we're starting the Smash Test tomorrow, so get ready, right? Since all the characters have been revealed, they could do that. So, theoretically, right, the Smash Test... Let's say the Smash Test is on the 23rd. I think they
did something similar with the Splatoon 2 global test fire.
But you know why? You know why it's not going to happen? That's not going to happen because Thanksgiving is that week, right? Having the Smash Test on the weekend I think it makes sense, but having it on the 22nd, no, I don't think that's going to happen. Especially since, you know, that final Smash Direct might have pre-order information, right, about certain like you know, bundles and stuff that they want to have put up and advertised before Black Friday. So I think it makes sense to have the Direct the second week of November. Well, the first full week of November.
The first week.
Because Pokemon Let's Go.
I'm with you. That might be the first week of November.
Yeah, the week that's 4 through 10. It'll be there. So I'm thinking, yeah, the 8th. I think November 8th is my pick for the final Smash Direct.
That sounds likely.
Because I don't think it happened the week that Pokemon Let's Go comes out, and I don't think it can happen on Thanksgiving either.
No, it would be too busy.
Yeah, and then so the Smash Test will be the weekend of Thanksgiving, 2 weeks before the game actually comes out, and we get DLC announcements during the Game Awards. Yeah, I feel. Or do you have any other ideas on when we could get a Smash Direct?
I mean, that's kind of what I've been predicting, like early November. I've been saying that for a while, so I agree.
Yeah, and I think a lot of other people agree with you too. I was watching a video on Commonwealth Realm. They also feel that November is a better time, especially considering how many games are coming out in October. There's a lot of games coming out in October, right? We're getting Mario Party, we're getting Dark Souls, we're getting Starlink, a lot of third-party games coming out. Luigi's Mansion's coming out. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming out in October. So it kind of makes sense to have it early November. Yeah, we're in agreement there. So let's see what you guys in the chat think, though, if you guys have any different ideas. Let me see. Oh yeah, Super Mario Party. I want to try and get that day one as well. It's coming out like 3 days, right? Oh, well,
yeah.
Better save up.
I might not get a day one because I don't really have anyone
who
plays Mario Party.
Actually, I'm planning on seeing some friends for Thanksgiving, so I might get it before then. But that's a month later. So, oh man, that'd be so cool. If they have Smash stuff on Thanksgiving weekend, that'd be so cool. Anyway, let me see. Where was I? What was I saying? I'm lost. Lost forever. Lost forever in the abyss of time and destruction. No, I was just thinking about Mario Party. Yeah, Mario Party's coming in October. It's coming out in 3 days.
Yes?
Yeah, I have to go to Comic-Con. I'm going to Comic-Con on Thursday, actually. I'm dressed up as Luffy from One Piece.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. I've been trying to get abs. Not there yet. And I probably shouldn't have started working towards abs the week beforehand. The thing is,
Right.
I need to do cardio, and I'm not really doing cardio. I'm just working out and eating better, but that's not enough to get away the fat that's on my belly. Like, I'm not, like, fat, right? I'm skinny. But, like, you know, there's a minor gut. So, yeah,
Right.
whatever. Not going to continue talking about my gut on this podcast. But, you know, I probably won't get Splatoon immediately because I have Comic-Con to deal with and stuff. But for the record, guys, if you guys want to follow and see what I'm doing with Comic-Con, I'll probably be posting a lot of pictures on Instagram. So, yeah, if you want to see pictures of me...
I have to get another social media.
Yes.
Facebook.
If you want to see pictures of me dressing up as Luffy and me taking pictures of girls in hot cosplays, follow me on Instagram.
I guess I'm getting Instagram.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll have to take pictures with people because otherwise it'd be creepy. Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be that guy. But yeah, so I'll probably put some stuff on Instagram for that. I don't know. Maybe I'll even make a vlog. I don't know if I'll make a vlog video. It's been my first like Comic-Con, so I don't even know what to expect. So you know, I don't know what to expect, so I don't know how to prepare. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, Avengers 4 and Comic-Con? Yeah, that might happen, actually. Yeah, but anyways, let's talk about the characters, though. So, you don't think that statement means less characters inherently?
No, I think it just means that they're not going to be dropping a character left and right like they have been. They've been kind of just pouring and outpouring of characters and reveals. It's just like every couple of weeks something big Smash happens.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to slow down until the Direct.
So then, if there's only one more Direct, if we're in agreement we're going to see one more event where we're going to see characters revealed for Smash Bros. Before the game comes out, excluding the Game Awards with DLC, then how many, how do you expect it to just be 4? How many do you think we're going to get? Because are they going to keep it smaller? I feel like they got to one-up the King K. Rool Direct.
How many do they have in that one? 5?
5. 3 Echoes, 2 newcomers.
Yeah, I think... You said 3 Echoes, 2 newcomers?
Yeah.
I think they might do, 4 newcomers and, 2 or 3 Echoes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about it last night.
I think they're going to focus on, the Spirits mode a lot, though, and, extra modes, so...
Yeah.
Depending on how long it is, they may have been putting a lot of character reveals out because they're going to be talking about the modes more in this next Direct. And
maybe.
Maybe not be as many characters.
I think we're definitely getting a reveal at the end and the beginning for sure. So I think we have at least 2 unique fighters and 1 Echo left to expect. At least. But I think...
I kind of think there's at least 4 or 5 characters going to be announced. The least. Including Echoes, of course.
Yeah. The thing is, so this is the roster that people are saying according to the Vergibend leaks or what have you. Incineroar, a very widely expected Pokemon, okay, from Gen 7. A third-party character that is an echo of Ken, a third-party character that is an echo Shadow, a technically third-party character Geno, and another third-party character Minecraft Steve. Those are what people are saying are the final characters for Smash Bros. Ultimate. I just want to point something out. 4 out of 5 of those characters are third-party characters. Just saying, do you really think that the last 4 out of 5 characters revealed for Smash Bros. Ultimate are going to be third-party characters? Although Geno is kind of like a...
He's weird. He's in a weird space.
Technically, he's a third-party character is what I'm saying. Licensing-wise, he is. I don't see... I don't seem likely to me. On top of that, Geno is definitely the kind of character that I could see be a final character reveal, right? But I don't think it's Minecraft Steve. I think well, we've kind of talked about this, but like I believe blog theory, which there's like a numerical pattern that's been suggested by all the blog updates. If you check like the metadata for the website, there's a lot of mathematicians that have been like calculating this and coming up with predictions and estimations. So, and basically the conclusion that they've come up with is that there are going to be 6 to 8 more characters that will be shown off. New characters that includes echoes in that number by the time the game comes out. So I'm thinking 6 to 8 characters will be shown off. And if they go for the more modest 6, the 6 would be technically one-upping the Smash the King K. Rool Direct. But it's only one more additional character, so it's not too crazy. So I mean,
but they're gonna have extra modes and stuff and talk about.
Right.
So
Absolutely. So Sabbath, I kind of like the idea of it being Geno, Isaac, and Skull Kid to be the last unique fighters coming from Nintendo, and then maybe Rayman. Yeah, I think Rayman. Banjo-Kazooie is my like pick for a 5th. If there's a 5th unique fighter, Banjo-Kazooie is my pick. I actually think there's a possibility we might not even see a Pokemon for the final roster, because we already Gen 7 happened a while ago. Like when Greninja was revealed for Smash Wii U and 3DS, it was before Pokemon came out, so it was building up hype for it. I just think like from a business perspective, revealing Incineroar doesn't make sense. It's not that it wouldn't be a cool character, it's just kind of like, why have Incineroar be the Pokemon representative when the generation's already done? You know, like it's not really help. It's what's it gonna get people to do? Go back and buy Ultra Sun and Moon on the 3DS when it's coming on the Switch, the dead 3DS system. I feel like it'd be more. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about like from like actual advertising perspective. Like I feel like having Incineroar isn't as valuable as, say, for example, having Banjo-Kazooie. Although Banjo-Kazooie is more helpful for Microsoft, but Golden Sun actually. Isaac is a great example because there's been trademarks made for Isaac, right? That was made not too long ago. That was during shortly after the Isabelle Direct, I think it happened. We got a trademark for Isaac for Golden Sun. It was before we saw a trademark for it. So they could be working on a new Golden Sun game. It would make sense to have Isaac be represented in Smash Bros., which would boost the sales for that Golden Sun game.
Right. Yeah, and Incineroar just... doesn't need to be in there. It's no real point.
Would you be upset if they had no more Pokemon editions in the base roster?
Yes! No more Pokemon editions, because we don't need it anymore, because we have enough.
I mean, if you just think about it as a limited roster, if they can only add so many more characters, right? It has to be like the ultimate roster, right? And you look at the ultimate characters, they're characters that people want, long-time fan-requested characters. So the long-time fan-requested characters that are left, right, are Rayman, Geno, Isaac, Banjo. I'm missing a couple. Chorus Kids, Shantae. I know is a long-time fan-requested character. I think that's that, and Skull Kid. I think like those are like the 7 ones that are kind of sticking out that people really want. Am I missing any?
I'm trying to think, and I don't think you are. I think it's pretty.
I think Shantae is if Shantae makes it into the game, she would be an assist trophy, just like Shovel Knight.
Yeah, I think if Shovel Knight didn't make it, then like it's kind of.
And Shovel Knight was popular too. Right?
Yeah, Shovel Knight was really popular in the polls.
Yeah. I also like Chorus Kids as assist trophies, but there was that potential tease with the King K. Rool trailer where Donkey Kong's position seemed to match up really well with the common position for what's his name, Karate Joe? I never played
Karate Joe, I think, would be a way better character from what I've seen. I don't play Rhythm Heaven either, but even the people who play Rhythm Heaven seem to think that Karate Joe is going to be better. I mean, he's karate, so obviously he's a fighter. Chorus Kids don't fight, so it would make sense. I'm not really sure who the Chorus Kids are, Super Chris. Just there's somebody from Rhythm Heaven.
Rhythm Heaven. Look up Rhythm Heaven. Yeah.
There are 3 like real plain characters.
Didn't they have a trademark for Rhythm Heaven come up recently too? Or was that Elite Beat Agents?
I think they did have a trademark for Rhythm Heaven.
Let me see.
A few months back. Not like super recent, but like a while. Then again, there's been some. I think there's been a Rhythm Heaven game come out in Japan recently, so. But not like super recently, but like within a year.
Yeah, new trademarks for Golden Sun, Rhythm Heaven, and Wrecking Crew and Mario Super Sluggers.
It's an interesting list.
This is it. Confirmed. Chorus Kids and Isaac are in Smash. Like, Chorus Kids,
Joe and Isaac.
Karate Joe and Isaac. Yeah, I think that makes way more sense to me. Like, I would pick Karate Joe over Minecraft Steve as the weird character, as like the weird
Bandana Waddle Dee over Minecraft Steve.
Oh, Bandana Waddle Dee could be like that 8th character that I was talking about that has been a long time fan requested character. So then I guess the characters that I think that have a chance of making it in are, let's go over Gino, Isaac, Karate Joe, Shantae, Rayman. There was 3 more. I can't remember them all. Help me, Brandon. Banjo. Skull Kid.
Did you say Isaac?
I said Isaac. Skull Kid.
Did you said Karate Joe?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start over. I don't remember.
Gotta start over. Said. Gino, Isaac, Skull Kid, Banjo, Rayman, Shantae, Bandana Waddle Dee, and Karate Joe. That's it.
There you go.
Those are the 8 characters that have a chance to make it in. Doesn't mean they will make it in, but those are like the characters that fit into that mold of high up in the Smash belt, which we know is going to the roster for Smash Ultimate. They fit other characters that have been announced for Smash Ultimate, like King K. Rool, Ridley, and Isabelle. So those 8 are like the last contenders, I think.
Right. I think the ones with the least amount of potential, probably Bandana Waddle Dee and Shantae.
Yeah, I think Shantae, if she makes it in, is an assist. I also think Bandana Waddle Dee makes more sense as an assist trophy. Yeah.
It could be an echo of Kirby, maybe.
Well, they're so different. Like ability and technique-wise, they're so different that I feel. Yeah. But Bandana Waddle Dee's moveset isn't necessarily super fleshed out from what I know, right? So like, because it's not super fleshed out, they could just.
I think you can play as him in different games. So.
Yeah. I feel like assist trophy just makes more sense. But he is really popular though, and because he's really popular, that could make him a character. And it would also.
Why he's really popular, but he is.
But he is exactly. So there's that. Also, Dixie Kong's really popular, but I feel like Dixie Kong is easy Echo character material, but it would be kind of like a Chrom Echo where they would have to change the up B, right, and then the animations, but it would be basically Diddy Kong. Yeah. Instead of Diddy Kong using the tail, she uses her tail, her ponytail, her hair tail, and then the up B would just be like her propeller. That's maybe like a reanimation of the King K. Rool propeller, right? And that would be pretty much it. So yeah, I think Shadow is a given because he's one of those assist trophies that's missing, right? I think Ken also is likely, especially if that leak is real. But I don't think that leak is real.
No.
Yeah. I posted something on Twitter. Can I show you? Can I? Can I do a window capture real quick? Is that possible? Is that within?
It is within the realm of possibilities. It is within your tool set.
But if I put the OBS over the Google Hangout, it'll freak out.
Use the screen capture in the Google Hangout.
Oh, I can move over. I can move it. Oh, you're so smart. There we go. There we go. Oh my god, I hate this. It won't let me like slide over. So this is the video I made recently about the Ken leak, right? So people were. Let me just talk about this. So I took an actual image myself, right? Of like an off-screen shot of Smash Brothers. This is a Treehouse demo, right? And this is the leak image, right? So just kind of pay attention to something here. Now, I noted in my video that you see this line right here, these blue lines I put up. Brandon, I think you would have to look at the stream to be able to see it.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, yeah. So, do you see the blue lines? Is it clear enough?
Yeah, you can see.
So, but you see how I lined it up at the top corner over here, but because it's a picture taken off a monitor, obviously it's not a straight picture, so this part's diagonal, right? It veers off.
Right.
So here's the thing, in the video I made, right, I also noted how the characters, images, and percentages at the bottom don't line up, right? Notice how it starts level here, and then as you go across, it's already cutting off the Ken letters. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was thinking that this was evidence that this is fake. But here's the thing: someone brought up to me that I'm not taking depth into consideration here. So, depending on how you tilt it, it's not a straight shot, right? So the depth, like the left side of the screen is closer than the right side of the screen from the image, so that skews the straight line. So I went and tested this, and I looked at this side, right? And this is from a YouTube video, so I actually put the line on the YouTube video line, and as you can see, it starts straight here, but by the end of it, do you see the spacing between the blue line and the YouTube line? It's a little off, right? But then look at the top, and put the corner here, and then by the end, you can still see it's a little off as well, right? So it does stray a little bit. But here's the thing, right? So I agree. The depth does definitely affect the balance of it. So those actual character screens aren't necessarily off. But here's the thing: look at this line, right, and how it's slightly off by Ken letter, right? But then look at this top side, right, and look how off it is at the end. Look how much space there is between here and here versus
really off.
Over here. It's just a few pixels of a difference. Over here, it's a chunk of the screen in terms of difference. So
the characters don't seem to be tilted. Nothing on the screen.
Right. So tell me if the perspective can be so twisted that the top side is way off, but only the bottom side is a little off. I don't.
I'm just trying to like. Try to see if I can get something like that. My camera here, and it's not. It's kind of. Actually, maybe so. Huh.
So do you think that that kind of skewing is possible depending on how you angle it, where that bottom side is only slightly not parallel, but the top side is very unparalleled?
You see this picture I just took? I think it kind of is the same as that one. The bottom is just pretty parallel, but the top is super skewed.
Yeah.
I sent you it on Twitter. You can feel free to put it in the stream.
Yeah, sure. I'll see what I can do. Let me see. All right, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is image in a new tab, and then just scroll to pull this image, this thing over here. So that's the picture that Brandon took. So what are you trying to tell me here?
See, it's like the bottom is just, if you look at that bottom line, it's just barely tilted, but the top, as you can see, is like really crooked.
Okay.
As you can see, so it's more in line with the image.
Oh no, I was still looking at the Smash picture. I should be looking at your monitor.
I took the picture of my monitor, yeah, right there.
Right. So then, what are you trying to tell me with this picture? Now that I know what I'm looking, I was looking at the Ken picture. That's why I got confused.
Right.
I'm looking at the monitor.
Look at the top of my monitor. See how crooked it is. But if you look at the bottom, and everything on the top is crooked. Like the line where it tells you like distance and things, that's very crooked. But if you look at the picture of the bottom where above, like the black line of the box of the window in the stream itself is very straight, even though it should be very crooked. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm a little confused actually. Well, I guess so. I'm just trying to understand the top. The top of your monitor is slanting upwards, right? Mm-hmm. So what other part are you trying to relate to that part?
The monitor is slanted, but the window, right above where it says join the research team, there's the the window where our face is and where the picture. Yeah. That was straight. That's straight in the picture. That's straight when I took the picture. and it's still straight now. However, everything else was also straight, and it's now crooked, very extremely so.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same as the picture there.
The Ken leak.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess So then, are you saying that distortion is possible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. See, because from my perspective, though, I'm just curious how this part has this much of a difference, but the bottom side only has a slight difference, though. I don't know.
Same in my picture. Like, the top is extremely crooked. Everything here was lined up. Like, from my perspective, when I took this picture, everything was straight. Exactly straight. Yeah, as you can see, the bottom part of this picture is pretty straight, but the top is extremely crooked.
But here's another weird thing. Look at this. I'm going to put this parallel line at the bottom. Please notice how there's a black line. That's supposedly the monitor edges, right? So it doesn't make sense to me. Shouldn't, I don't know, maybe it is a perspective, the depth that just really twists it a lot. I just kind of like looking at like this part here at the bottom, right? You can see the corner of the monitor on the left side and the right side and the top left side, right? But you can't see it on the right side. Do you see what I'm saying? Because there's a black line. You can see the edges of the monitor for the three corners, just not the top right corner.
I think it's because you're thinking of the tilt in more of a two-dimensional way instead of three-dimensional, where you can tilt. You not only can tilt your phone this way, but you can tilt it like this.
Right.
And that's how I took that picture. Is I tilted it like this instead of just tilting it like this. I tilted it kind of like back.
Okay. So, I still feel weird about it, but you know, I'm just gonna take it with a grain of salt.
I was not expecting that result when I took the picture. I just was like, oh, wow.
So
that's
then
crazy.
maybe the distortion can lead to that much of a disbalance. I just feel like the disbalance is still off when I look at both sides, but again, maybe I'm just not getting how much of a perspective can be changed based off the depth and at what angle you take it. So I'm kind of lost on it, but whatever. Let me see what you guys in the chat think.
According to GG, Artsy Omni and Push Dustin approved of the leak, possibly more leaning towards it being real. They do know a lot of things about editing and perspective and stuff. So
definitely, that's true. Yeah, I'm not sure I buy that the Ken looks shrunk thing, because like proportionally some of the characters have to be bigger because they're more toony and stuff like that. Like if I really looked at like how Ryu would compare, it's pretty close. So
yeah, I thought that at first, but I think I didn't take into account just how like the ramp and everything, and just like actually how big, because how big the characters next to him are, like Pac-Man and Pichu. I didn't realize how big they actually were, because I thought they were a lot smaller than they actually are, because Pichu's pretty big actually. He's not all that small like you think he would be. And in the game, in his own game, he is. But in Smash, he's actually pretty big, and he has to be, obviously, because you can't just have this like teeny tiny like Smash character. He has to be big enough.
Yeah, no, I think that it does seem a little. I can see how you might think that Ken is shrunk, but I mean, we've compared it to Ryu, and it matches up. So
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are just getting tripped up by the fact that Pichu is kind of known as a smaller character, so people are thinking they're smaller than he is.
He's not proportional.
And there's the ramp. So
yeah, that's the other thing. The ramp puts him more downwards. So if technically he's bigger than Pichu, even on screen. Now it's not just like a depth thing. He's bigger, but because he's lower on the ramp, right? He matches up almost height wise. Yeah, he's bigger, but So I would say that it's not really, the image is not debunked. It's not. It's a really good image. I do still think like having like the whole Ken like character image be transparent and separated from everyone else is weird. But if it's a shot of the game in development, maybe they're working with that editing in some way. I don't quite understand it, to be honest with you, why that is like that. And I'm not 100% convinced about the tilt of the screen. But again, as Brandon showed, there's a lot of distortion that can happen depending on the angle of the picture. So, there's nothing.
Now, before last week when we talked about it, I was pretty much like, this isn't true. But now I'm like, this could be true. I think it's more of a coin flip now.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm 50-50 on it because it could happen, but at the same time, there are people who are so talented that they can make this look really close to legit. So yeah, we'll see. Like, I mean, even the artsy thing, when he did that, the Rayman thing, you should go back and look at how he created the Rayman leak, right? Like, everyone was like so convinced because it looked like they had the animations, the character screen, the flowy fire in the background. Like, it seemed it was just so good, but he actually went ahead and showed you everything he did, and it's possible. But again, there have been some good fakes. But, like Gigi pointed out, there are some people who are pretty good at doing this stuff, like Artsy himself, and he thinks that apparently it's, that is real. So, there's a really good chance it's real. And again, a few months ago, the Pokemon Let's Go image was also leaked as well. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. But, let's talk about the Nintendo in 2019 to kind of end things off, This is not a full-on dedicated video to that topic, but just because we kind of I feel like we have a pretty good idea of what Nintendo has for 2019, especially since that tease for the Game Awards. A lot of people are now assuming that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be revealed at the Game Awards, and that it's going to be a big holiday title for Nintendo. So let's kind of go over it. We know these are the confirmed. Technically, Metroid is not confirmed for 2019 yet, for the record, right? It could still be beyond that, but I think most people are in agreement that it's probably a 2019 game at the end of the year. So this is what we got. We got Town. We got Town. Okay. We got Town. Did I mention we have Town? No? Oh, one more time.
No, you haven't. I don't know what this.
So there's that new IP from Game Freak. It's Town. We have stupid new Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. All right. We have Fire Emblem. We have Yoshi. We have Animal Crossing. We have Luigi's Mansion 3. We have what else? We have Pokemon 2019. We have Metroid Prime 4, but it's not. The Metroid Prime 4 is the one that's not confirmed for 2019, but it's widely speculated to be a 2019 title. I think there's
3 in the same position.
Oh, there's also Daemon X Machina.
Daemon X Machina.
There's a couple other games that they could maybe be there. There's Bayonetta 3, right? There's the potential Metroid Prime Trilogy HD at the beginning of the year. There's also Pikmin 4.
When is that game ever coming?
We don't know. Sometime. It could happen sometime, right? We also have those trademarks for Golden Sun and the Rhythm Heaven. So one of those or maybe 2 of those games could be announced as well next year. So there's a lot of potential games for next year already, right? And on top of that, what?
I said next year's gonna be hopping.
Yeah.
Too many games.
But there's also the possibility of a 2D Zelda next year or a 2D Mario next year. Well, if we're getting new Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, that might cover the 2D Mario, unfortunately. Yeah. Some people still think that Super Mario Odyssey DLC could come out next year. I have no idea at this point. It would be kind of late.
Yeah.
I also was kind of hoping for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC, but that also wasn't announced either. Which is also weird. No DLC for either. So they still may happen. They might just be kind of, they're going to maybe use them to pad out like certain parts of 2019. But when you break that all down, that's a lot of games, and I don't think all of that is coming out next year.
No. Something's gonna have to give.
Something's gotta give. Well, for example, Bayonetta 3 is not confirmed for next year. Pikmin 4 hasn't been announced yet, and considering the lineup, I would put Pikmin 4 as not a 2019 title either. There's another game I completely forgot.
Releasing
Star Fox Grand Prix Racing.
Yeah.
That
one might get pushed.
Yeah. Then so, because I mean, confirmed. Let's say you exclude Metroid from this conversation because it's not confirmed yet, right? The confirmed titles are Town, Daemon X Machina, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion 3, Yoshi, and Fire Emblem. Right? That already covers 6 months, and we already know New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe is assuming if you assume one of those games per month is what I mean. And we also have the New Super Mario Bros. Trashed Deluxe Edition coming out in January. So, you know, they don't need that much more to fill it out. I think Metroid Prime 4 takes up one of those months. Obviously, smaller games can be slotted in there. Like, Town could go in with another major game. I feel like Bayonetta 3 and Pikmin 4 are not 2019 titles. I think there's too much already. Yeah. I think even if they're ready until it's like, hey, look, let's just, you know, wait it off a little bit. Because, I mean, assuming we get Metroid, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion 3, Fire Emblem, and Yoshi, that's a pretty good year. Oh, and Pokemon 2019. Those are 6 big hitters. Yeah. So they're major. Major to me, at least. Like, this major. And they're gonna have supposedly better third-party support in 2019, and you're gonna have smaller games like Town sort of fill in those slots in New Super Mario Deluxe. Maybe Metro. Here's the other thing: in Metroid Prime 4, let's say when do you think Metroid Prime 4 comes out? I think Pokemon probably will take the November slot, as it usually does every month. Is it gonna take like that October slot, like the way Mario Odyssey did last year, or is it gonna take like December slot, like Smash?
December. Like Luigi's Mansion 3 is October.
The disappointing thing to me about Metroid not coming out in December, same thing with Smash actually, is that it doesn't make it in for Game of the Year honors.
True.
Which I'm not sure is something that they even factor in for being for release. They don't factor that in, but it's just like kind of like, but Metroid Prime 4 could totally win, right? So that's the thing, man. That'd be such a disappointment if Metroid Prime 4 doesn't make it out for that. I would almost like... I kind of like the idea of Animal Crossing coming out in December.
I think Animal Crossing might come out late spring, early summer. It has a tendency to come out at that time.
It also makes sense because they just announced it now, so early on, right? Like for example, I think Fire Emblem is definitely like an earlier 2019 title. Yoshi's like a first half 2019 title, and then Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion will be like summer to fall range. Like Animal Crossing could be like the August game or something, right?
Yeah. Well, the original came out in April. New Leaf came out in June. However, the other two came out in December, so. But the other two were kind of like less. I don't know. I think it's kind of 50-50 then between those two. I mean, it could take up December, but it could also be early.
Do you think they'll pull the Luigi's Mansion for Halloween again? Luigi's Mansion for October.
This makes too much sense. That's when it's going to sell the best. Unless there's other crazy amounts of games coming there to destroy it.
Yeah.
You also got to take into account Nintendo might take other companies into account, depending on how big the game is.
Right, yeah, and Luigi's Mansion 3 is not as big of a title as Metroid or Pokemon.
Yeah.
But October's still a good slot to come out in, and Halloween would definitely benefit it. So, because Metroid Prime... The other thing is that Metroid Prime 4, I think, is going to be the best-selling Metroid game of all time.
Yeah.
And that may sound like a bold statement, but if you look at the sales numbers, it isn't.
It's not that bold.
Not that bold. Not bold. I think having Metroid Prime 4...
Considering the fact that almost every game that's been coming on the Switch has been the best-selling of its genre.
Right.
Or close.
And I think they're going to show Metroid Prime 4 at the Game Awards. It's really going to help it for the advertisement. Think about it, they teased Metroid at the end of E3 and Smash Brothers, right? Metroid's getting a big push in Smash. We got Ridley, we're getting Dark Samus. Like, they're getting a big push. I wouldn't be shocked if another DLC character at some point is like Silex from Metroid as well. Like, they're giving Metroid a big push, and this is all to advertise that game, get it more relevant, especially now in this social networking age. Like, great games have a much better chance of succeeding because they're actually shared, right? The word of mouth, or rather word of text, is so strong now that games have a much better chance of succeeding. So Metroid Prime 4 is a great chance, especially if Nintendo does things to sort of cater it to a wider audience, which doesn't mean making it easier, right? Breath of the Wild is one of the hardest Zelda games ever made, and it appeals to a wider audience, right? So don't, when I say that, don't think, oh, Metroid, you want Metroid to be casual. No, I want Metroid to be hardcore, painful, bloody, disgusting, and hard. No, okay, not disgusting. Well, if disgusting, by disgusting I mean maybe aliens exploding on your face.
Alien guts.
Yeah, like that, right? Like I want Metroid to be like a super uber hardcore experience, and I think it will be pretty much that. But they will find ways to make it cater to a wider audience, because Metroid's been dormant for a lot of years, and I think part of the reason why it has been dormant for a lot of years is because of the sales. And Nintendo's like, oh, we need to get this out because this is the main breadwinner here, right? And they're probably thinking of ways to sell that idea in a way that it will work, right? That's the thing. Like, you go back and watch interviews, they'll say, oh, like, the reason we haven't done an F-Zero or this is because we haven't come up with a good idea for it yet, right? Like, Shigeru Miyamoto literally said, the reason we don't have a new F-Zero is because they don't have a good idea for it yet. What that really means is they don't have a good idea for it that they know will sell better than F-Zero GX, because it didn't sell well.
Right.
So, I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to get kind of like a Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild treatment, where they're going to sort of reassess some of the foundations and modernize it in a lot of ways and do things in a way that will make it more appealing to a larger audience. Would still be hardcore as hell and probably more hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a thing going here for every month.
I thought you were gonna say I was playing Minesweeper the entire time you were talking, and I just had what's going on.
The whole time.
Yeah.
But no, I made January through December.
Mm-hmm.
We can fill this thing out. I have. Isn't that Mario garbage coming out in January?
Yeah.
Right. So February does Daemon X Machina have a release date? I thought it had a release.
It might have a release month or season. Let me double check. Damon, I forgot to spell it. I got it.
From what I'm seeing, it's just 2019. I'm pretty sure they said early 2019 at least. If I remember, it's supposed to be early.
When was it shown off? It was shown off in the September Direct, right? It's a first.
A tale of belief.
Stop making noise. Look at the end of the trailer. I think they said something. So it should have like a screen saying Daemon X Machina. It's just 2019. That's all it says. So
I swear it was early.
I think they were just assuming it is because they're showing it off so now.
They showed it off a lot.
Yeah, and the way Nintendo's been doing things, you know what it is?
February. Yeah, I'm seeing February 2019, which is when I thought.
Where are you seeing that?
Shaq News.
That sounds legitimate.
I think they talked about it being in February during the actual gameplay, like during the treehouse.
Do you think they would have a report on that somewhere that's trustworthy?
I always remembered it being February, so I heard it somewhere, and I've never seen that site, obviously.
I still don't see it, man. I look up Daemon X Machina release date, it doesn't come up. I could Daemon X Machina.
Nintendo just listed it 2019. I heard it somewhere.
No. Like, I'm putting up the search, and like it's putting up articles for Daemon X Machina, and it's saying the only thing it's missing from the search is February.
Somebody mentioned in February, because I heard it in February, but I don't know who mentioned it.
It's not confirmed, but I do agree that Daemon X Machina is an early title.
Okay. It might not... I could have sworn it was confirmed.
Well, I found something, actually. I found something.
What'd you find?
Nope. Wrong. It was just the site had February for another game that was coming out. Yeah, so... February is not confirmed, but... I would say that an early release is likely, especially since they've already shown it off twice. Think about that. They've shown it off twice already. Shown it off at E3, they showed it at this Direct. I think it's an early game. So, yeah, I would say February is a good prediction for it, at least. Yeah, it's a good prediction for it. So, not bad. It's fine.
I honestly think it is February, and I'm just not finding the source, because I remember vividly February for some reason. I've never seen that the source. It was probably mentioned sometime in, like, when they were actually doing gameplay of it, and they mentioned it was in early or February or something. But there are sites saying February. They're just not saying when they heard it. I don't know.
We can't find it, so
we're just gonna assume February and say it's not official because we can't find the actual source.
That's fine.
What about March? I'd say when is Fire Emblem probably gonna come out? Maybe April, May. So that's just spring.
What time does Fire Emblem usually come out? Like the last Fire Emblem that came out was Fire Emblem.
I think it came out in May.
Fire Emblem Fates, right? No.
No. It was a remake.
It was Echoes.
It was Echo, yeah. That came out
April.
April.
When did Awakening come out?
I'm seeing April. Yeah. So, Awakening?
Fire Emblem also came out in April.
But Fates.
Fates and Awakening came out in April. Oh,
no. Fates came on.
Let me check Fates. June? No, Fates is June.
This is June.
I would say April.
I'm gonna say it's April because.
Yeah, I'm going with April.
Even the old Fire Emblem games come out in April. April seems to be.
But Fates was a June release though, so you know. But I think it's definitely first half.
I think Fates got delayed though, didn't it?
I don't remember. No, I can look it up. Delay.
Gonna put that Fire Emblem in the April slot here. So just look at March.
I think April's a good prediction. So you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Yoshi maybe March or May.
It's gonna take the Kirby slot. I think it'll take the Kirby slot. March.
May or March.
Yep.
Oh, Kirby can, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
March.
That makes sense. That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
It came out. So we got January is Mario garbage. Got February's Damon, Ex Machina, March is Yoshi, April is Fire Emblem, May is not anything.
Right. Let's keep in mind that there are some months that could have 2 games, but they won't be like 2 major games, right? Like,
true.
We also, everyone in the chat is talking about maybe Xenoblade X as a port for next year. And we also were talking about Metroid Prime Trilogy HD being another potential remaster port as well.
Would that be
it would have to be early. I feel like it has to be early on in the year, because, well, I think it'd be February actually. So just roll with me here. If Metroid Prime Trilogy HD is happening, right? The reason we think it could be happening is it kind of matches up with the thinking that, like, last year, we got an announcement for Bayonetta 1 and 2 and Bayonetta 3. Oh, God. Sorry. Gas burps. But Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3 were announced at the Game Awards last year. Bayonetta 1 and 2 came out on Nintendo Switch last February, right? So, if, like, this Game Awards are going to sort of mimic what they did for Bayonetta and have Metroid Trilogy and then have Metroid Prime 4, what they could do is have the Metroid Prime Trilogy HD come out in February, and on top of that, Daemon X Machina is kind of like a third-party thing, so they could have both. And since it's just a remaster, and Daemon X Machina is probably not going to have that big of an audience, I think they could have both in the February slot.
Okay. What would come out in May? What's a good? I mean, May didn't have to be anything. They could skip a month. I put down Animal Crossing as June. It seemed like that would be right around when it would come out, June or July.
I think Animal Crossing doesn't debut well at E3, as a lot of people have said. So I think it would be better for it to come out May or June, where media for it doesn't really need to be covered at E3. So yeah, it's May or June. We may need a little bit of a cool off, so I think I would pick June for it. Yeah, May might just be, I don't know. May could just be a skipper.
Yeah. Alright, so we got July. What would be in July?
I think if we get Xenoblade X, it'd be an August or a July game, kind of fitting into that RPG slot that we got for like Octopath this year.
Right.
What did we get last year? What did we get? I think there was like some sort of RPG slot or something. I don't remember. I think it was Splatoon, which is not an RPG at all. But
true, yeah. Splatoon 2 was July.
Yeah. So I think Xenoblade X could take up around that time, late summer time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then July or August?
What's July or August?
Which one?
Like which month do we pick? Which month do we pick? If Animal Crossing comes out in June, what games do we have left? We have Pokemon, Metroid, and...
I put Metroid in December, October, Luigi in November, obviously Pokemon.
Okay.
So the ones we gotta fill out is July, August, and September.
July, August, and September. Oh, Town actually could come out late summer.
Maybe August then?
Yeah.
Falling that kind of late summer spot.
Kind of feeling like a July, actually. Just
July?
don't know why. Maybe because it's kind of like the summer. July is more summer, and Town seems like a smaller kind of game, and like it's shortly after E3, and it's just kind of like it's like exploring a town as a kid. You know, it kind of has that summery vibe. That's really all I'm going on here. Yeah.
Gosh, okay.
But it could be August. I think it's one or the other. It's interchangeable.
I'll just put it as July, and we'll put Xenoblade in August, just cause.
Okay. Okay.
Got September. What's coming on? What do we have left that we haven't? We had a lot of games. I feel like we have more than 12.
We do, but some of them take up more than 1 month.
True.
Do we agree that Bayonetta 3 is not coming out this year?
Yeah, I don't think.
Bayonetta 3 could take September.
It could.
It could be a September game. If it's
September
coming out.
It could be another skip.
It could be another skip. It could also be another Bayonetta time. It also could be like Luigi's Mansion 3 comes out September and Bayonetta 3 is an October game also. That would also make sense.
That would work.
But it's also one of those things where like it's just kind of like too much to expect. I feel like Bayonetta should be saved.
Okay, well let's read out the year so far and decide if we want to add anything. So we got January, we got Mario Trash. February, we got Daemon X Machina, Metroid Prime Trilogy. March, we got Yoshi. April, got Fire Emblem. May, we skipped. June is Animal Crossing. July is Town. August is Xenoblade Chronicles X. September is skipped. October is Luigi's Mansion 3. November is Pokemon. And December is Metroid Prime 4.
I think we're missing some things. I think there's going to be at least one racing kind of sports game. Like, maybe we get to see Wave Race return. There was a Wave Race trademark made recently. I think we see Wave Race next year.
When would that be? You think May or September? Probably September. They're
I like
gonna have
September.
time to announce. They're gonna have time to announce that.
September makes sense to me.
So I'll put just down racing.
Wave Race could be announced this January or February. Kind of should be showing off the treehouse and at E3, and then comes out September.
Yeah, I just put it down as September's racing / sports.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good. Pretty good list. May is the only one. Nothing. May we'll get something small. I'm sure something will happen. But
just kind of checking the chat. Hey, Fred Bounder. I kind of look at Smash Ultimate as Melee. It has Melee HD in it because it's kind of like the closest Smash has ever been to Melee in terms of speed, and all of the Melee stages have been remade in HD. So
and it's got like the air dodges and stuff that are back. The different dodges that they add in Melee.
Yeah, that's true. They have the air dodges and stuff too. Sabbath, you're not gonna get Starlink. I'm actually really looking forward to Starlink, but there's so many games coming in October. It's kind of hard.
I think Starlink's one of those games that is gonna drop in price really quickly, so I'll probably get it once it goes on sale.
Yeah, but I think there's one more game that should come out the next year.
Would it fill the May slot or
a Zelda game, like a 2D Zelda? I think a 2D Zelda makes sense.
Yeah, they need some kind of sound representation.
Because they skipped 2018. I think it's either a 2D Zelda or a Skyward Sword HD remake.
Yeah, they could get out an HD remake in May.
Yeah,
it doesn't need very much. If they could just announce it in an early 2019 direct and be like, come in May.
They could do a Skyward Sword HD remake and a 2D Zelda next year. I think they do both.
They could.
They could.
I'm gonna put May down as Skyward Sword HD because that makes sense.
Sure.
I think the other 2D or the other HD remakes were early in the year as well. I know Twilight Princess was. I don't remember when Wind Waker HD came out. I think it came out pretty early too.
So I think we agree that Star Fox Grand Prix. I think Star Fox Grand Prix could be a 2019 game if it was rumored this year,
I mean, it could fill up that September racing sports slot
and not be Wave Race.
Yeah.
Damn it! Why Wave Race?
Yeah, because Wave Race is so likely.
Yes, it is. You're wrong. Yes, it is. Star Fox Grand Prix racing is a known quantity, at least.
Phantom
right?
Curse. Oh, jeez, I saw that leak.
Oh, Phantom Curse is real.
Leak.
You didn't know? It's more real than the Ken leak. I'm kidding.
It's obviously fake.
Yeah.
Why would they do another Phantom? I guess they could call another one Phantom, but why? They already have Phantom Hourglass. You can't sequel Phantom Hourglass because they already had a sequel. It's called Spirit Tracks.
So here's the other thing, thinking about this lineup. We also have to think about they have to have games for next year, right? So...
Honestly, this lineup is spectacular right now.
Spectacular. So it's kind of like Star Fox Racing almost seems like too much, you know? It seems like too much.
Is it? How big is that game really going to be?
Well, it's made by Retro Studio. This is pretty big.
True. But... I mean, I think we can fit it. I don't know.
It just seems so big. It's just too big of a year. Maybe Metroid's not coming out. I don't know. I mean, we've definitely come up with a few extra stuff. There's gonna be more than 12 Nintendo games published next year, and especially next year, the 3DS is gonna be extra dead, right? Like,
extra dead, yes.
Yeah. So, dude. Can they have 2 racing games come out in a year? No, it can't happen.
Probably not.
But they what kind of casual games they have? They think they have to have some casual games too.
Yoshi, Animal Crossing, those both fit both casual and hardcore.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like Wave Race could appeal to both, but Star Fox Grand Prix is like definitely like more hardcore. Wave Race could appeal to both.
Pokemon appeals to both.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Pokemon 22 is going to be the most hardcore experience of your life.
Town could possibly appeal to both.
Yeah.
I'd say a lot of these appeal to both. Yoshi,
Metroid,
Zelda appeals to both.
Resident Evil.
Let's see. You got the Mario Trash. Let's count how many games. I'm gonna actually count how many games appeal to the casual. Mario Trash. Yoshi.
Daemon X Machina.
Daemon X Machina.
Oh, I thought you were counting all games on the list. You're just counting
the casuals. Because we were just pointing out that you said
Mario Trash.
Mario, Yoshi, Animal Crossing. A sports game appeals to everyone. So
what sports game do you think? Ooh, maybe we get Strikers.
That'd be awesome.
Is it time for Strikers? Is the world ready for? Oh, but wait, what about the Olympics?
Luigi cross-chopping in HD.
When do we get an Olympics? The Olympics is 2020 though, so maybe we get a Mario and Sonic at the Olympics in 2020.
Yeah. Nope. I just realized Nintendo theme parks was open 2020. It doesn't feel that far away anymore.
Yeah, and they're trying to line it up for the Olympics in Japan.
Yeah.
Think about that. The Olympics are happening in Japan. Nintendo's park is going to open in Japan at the same time. So my goal is to go to Japan for the summer, to go to Japan for the first time, which is an adventure in its own, to go to the Olympics for the first time, which is an adventure in and of itself, and to go to the Nintendo Park, which is going to be the greatest, most magical experience in the history of humanity.
That sounds like a lot of money.
Yes. I have 2 years.
Yes.
Start picking up.
Save it up, boys.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a trip out of this.
Yeah, it'd be so cool.
All our YouTube friends to pitch in.
Yeah. Mario Strikers. I like the idea of Mario Strikers being in there, but I feel like Mario Strikers is just me being spoiled. It's got to be something more lame, like Mario Baseball.
I mean, it could just be Star Fox Grand Prix, because I think it's gonna be racing or sports. I don't think it has to be both.
You think we only get one in a year? We only got Mario Kart. We got Mario Kart in 2017. We got Mario Kart,
and then we got Mario Tennis. We only got one.
You're right. Okay. I guess we could be Star Fox. And then next year we get Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. 2020 is that. Yeah. So do you think we get a 2D Zelda? Or is 2D Zelda a 2020 game, and then Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever is 2021?
That'd be pretty epic. I think Skyward Sword HD needs to get in somewhere.
Right. Well, you said May.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, we need 2 Zelda games in 1 year. That's the question.
It's 2 different kinds of Zelda games, though.
True. Still on one system, though.
Yeah. Well, let's just stick with the Skyward Sword HD. So run over the list and let's see what these guys say in the chat, and then we'll call it a day.
This is our final list. January is 2D Mario Trash.
Yep.
February is Daemon X Machina and Metroid Prime Trilogy HD. March is Yoshi Crafted World. April, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. May, Skyward Sword HD. June, Animal Crossing. July, Town. August, Xenoblade Chronicles X Remake. September, the racing sports, maybe
Star Fox Grand Prix, which seems like a lot to ask for, but okay.
Luigi's Mansion is in October.
Yep.
November is Pokemon.
Yep.
December is Metroid Prime 4.
Yep. Makes sense to me.
I mean, it's possible. It's a possible year. Seems possible.
Seems stacked, but maybe
2 of them are remakes. Consider that 2 of the months we put are remakes.
3.
1 of them.
4.
3's a port.
4. We got 4 remake. We got 4 port remasters here.
4 port remaster things. So
yeah,
that kind of puts it into perspective. Town is kind of like a smaller project from Game Freak. Pretty much the big ones here are Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon, Metroid Prime 4, and Star Fox Grand Prix. I don't see Yoshi as a big one. Damon's not a big one. Fire Emblem kind of big. Okay, I'll put Fire Emblem on there too.
Yeah.
So I got like 5 big games. Everything else is kind of minor stuff.
Yeah.
That's not unthinkable.
No. Yeah, it's a good list. Yeah. So, pretty close to the end of the show, guys. But let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. I think you guys are talking about characters. So Gigi wants Gina. I can find Gino and Elma. It's a fusion character. Gino, Elma. That's what he wants. What he expects Incineroar, Steve, Ken, and Shadow. I don't believe that. But we've talked. But yeah, that is what the rumors from the Vergibens. I'm saying Vergibens as a joke. It's Vergiben are talking about.
The Vergibens.
Yeah.
They're the minions of Vergiben.
Rover, you seen photos of Skull Kid? I gotta see this, whether fake or not.
I wanna see.
Where should I look up? What should I look up? How do I find this?
Skull Kid League. Skull Kid Smash League.
Oh, this came out like No, this is old.
Is it?
No, I don't know.
This is August 18, 2018.
That's pretty old. We're in October. It's old for the Smash hype cycle. Where should I look this up? I want to see this fake image. I don't see it.
Here, let me send you a link to this video. Go to 44 seconds.
You found it?
Yes. At least I found A1. And also, this is kind of it predicts the fact. In August, did we know that Echoes were going to be slotted in on top of other characters? In that kind of like exact... Had we seen pictures of that yet? I'm not sure if we'd seen that yet in August. And yet that's in this video.
August 18th, the September Direct... The Direct was in August. It was early August. Yeah, the August Direct had already happened. Pretty sure. Keep in mind that this would also be predicting Kid K. Rool. No. It looks believable. I'll put it up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. That's the image. Nah, man. It's fake. Especially since this came out August 18th. The Direct was... When was the Direct? It was like August 8th or something.
August 8th, yeah, okay. We already knew about that stuff.
Yeah, this is garbage. Sorry. It's garbage.
I mean, It's
cool. It's cool. I love the idea of getting Skull Kid.
So
I want Skull Kid. I think he has a shot, but yeah.
I don't see any problems with the picture. It's just like, could be real, could be fake. There's nothing saying it's real. There's nothing really pointing to it being fake.
Yeah, I think the character. So I was talking about it earlier, but the fan requested characters. There were 8 that I think are like high up in the Smash ballot. They kind of match up with everything that has been shared by, because we got King K. Rool, we got Ridley, and we got Isabelle, which are all highly fan requested characters, highly requested fan characters. But my brain is dying. It's signing in the podcast. But the 8 were Gino, Isaac, Shantae, Rayman, Karate Joe. There's 3 more. Come on, Skull Kid, you can do it. 2 more. Remember.
Bandana Waluigi.
Bandana Waluigi. I remembered it. That was back in my head.
Shantae. Did you say Shantae?
I said Shantae. There's one more that was like, yeah, this is it's just hard to come up with one at the same time. Did I say Isaac? I have to start over. Gino, Isaac, Skull Kid, Rayman, Banjo-Kazooie, Shantae, Karate Joe, and Bandana Waluigi. Damn it, you didn't let me remember it. Damn it. So those are the 8 that have a shot, I think, for sure. Not all of them are making it in. I think Shantae, she's an assist trophy. I think Karate Joe actually has a better shot than some people are really speaking to, because supposedly in the King K. Rool trailer, Donkey Kong was making the same position that Karate Joe is kind of known for, so that could have been a tease for that. Rayman also may have been teased because of a cloud silhouette in the King K. Rool trailer. Isaac may have been teased by Sakurai with that image that came shortly after the trailer.
He's not gonna. Bandana Waluigi, not gonna.
He has not been teased. On top of that, there was a trademark for Golden Sun, so there could be a Golden Sun game coming on the way, and having Isaac in there would definitely advertise the heck out of the Golden Sun game. And he's one of those characters. Gino hasn't been any teases that people have noticed. He just kind of like makes more sense than everyone else. There are rumors, but I don't.
He might be pushed back to DLC.
Skeptical of the rumors, but there is a Vergeman leak, and a lot of people believe it. And the leak is basically Incineroar, Ken, Shadow, Gino, basically probably Gino. It's a square. The ones he said are basically, from what I know, Shadow, Ken, and Incineroar. He did not say that Minecraft Steve would be in. He was saying the person that was saying Minecraft Steve sounds like he has some sources. Could be true, maybe. He was very vague about it. He said he heard similar things, but from his side he said there would be Minecraft content. Could be more. He didn't say there would he didn't confirm an actual character. To me, I think the fact that he's being ambiguous means that he's just guessing. But yeah. So I definitely think Shadow's 100% given. Shadow's like a given. I think Shadow and Ken is also highly likely. I would say the most confident prediction they have is Shadow, and then
I think Ken would be my most. Because Ken just seems too obvious,
especially with that leak that may be true. So Shadow and Ken, which have been predictions that I think I've been making for like the beginning of the year, basically. Everyone has.
Yeah.
Skull Kid has a high possibility. My personal list that I was making before I started considering Karate Joe was 6 to 8 characters. I'm predicting the high side 8 based off blog theory, right? So it's Shadow, Ken, Dixie Kong as the Echoes, and then the remaining unique fighters would be Gino, Isaac, Banjo, Rayman, and Skull Kid. But that seems like such a good list, so scrap 2 of those. Right, and then Karate Joe has a high likelihood, and then maybe Incineroar or some other Pokemon.
I just want Banjo. Banjo gets in.
Banjo could be DLC. I can see Banjo as DLC.
Please no.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm already having to get Rex Spyro's DLC. I don't want Banjo's DLC.
Yeah, I already had to give up on that one too. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, so I think that's it. I think we're pretty much good. Yeah. I do want to look into the Vergeman stuff more, because everyone believes him so wholeheartedly, and I don't believe him wholeheartedly. I think he's gotten some really good guesses, and he may have sources because he's the one that's not predicting all this crazy stuff. He's only confirmed a few things. Other stuff he sort of mentioned and suggested. So, it could be that he's just not reporting that much. There's also another thing to point out, though, is that companies put out a lot of misinformation with leakers so they can sift through who's actually leaking the information. You guys should take that into consideration. Sometimes there are leakers who have legitimate sources, but sometimes they are given false information because people... where the leaks are coming from, companies are trying to find where those leaks are coming from, so they put out fake leaks, and where those fake leaks come from, they could try to find that source and terminate that person. So, keep that in mind. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get Mario Party on Friday. I'm going to try. I want to, but I have Comic-Con on Thursday, so I might not have time or money.
I'm going to wait till I actually have a chance. Like, when I want to play it, I think that's when I'll buy it. Like, when I have a chance to play it, that's when I'll purchase it.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out Brian if you haven't seen him before. The link to his channel is in the description below. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything else to say, put them in the comments once the video has been exported or whatever. But I'll see you guys really soon. I'm going to go to Comic-Con on Thursday, so I might put pictures on my Instagram if you want to check that out. And, yeah, that's it. I think we're good. It's been going on for 3 hours, basically. Yeah. All right. Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.